welcome to Lost in Translationmon, episode 93. I'm May.
And I'm Jay.
This week we watched Bizarre Bazaar.
Or Blizzarmon, Blow the Snow, Call the Glaciers.
And Trailmon versus Trailmon.
Or Cho-Cho, the Great Trailmon Rocky.
Just before we start, I kind of want to talk about what the title of the episode 18 means, because I found it actually quite interesting. So,
There's any meaning to it at all?
So, yes, Choo-Choo isn't actually a fully accurate translation. It's actually Chiki Chiki, which if you think about it, Chiki 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 Chiki.
Well, yeah.
That's the noise a train makes. So it's the sound of a train going, chugga chugga
well,
chugga
that's why
chugga.
they translated it this way, because that's also a noise trains make.
Yeah, so it's but I found that really interesting, so I looked it up. And I also learned that the Japanese title is a reference to the Japanese title of Wacky Races, which the episode's based on.
With Muttley.
Yeah, with
straight
Muttley.
up in it.
So the title, and I'm going to mispronounce this, is Chiki Chiki Machine Mo Resu, which is like...
Wacky Races.
No, it's Machine More Race.
Machines More
No,
Racing.
I can't remember what more means. I did look at it, but I forgot. But Chiki Chiki, I love Japanese onomatopoeia. There are a few that like are my favourites, like Chiki Chiki, meaning chiki 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 chiki, and Don Don.
What's that one for?
It's like a drum. Like you hit the taiko, it goes Don 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 Dokka Don Don Don.
That's alright. Doki Doki's crap, though.
Doki Doki's fantastic.
Doki Doki's adorable, but it's wrong.
Yeah, but yeah, I just wanted to sort of like have
It's badoom.
It's just sort of May's Japanese corner with how great Japanese onomatopoeia is, right?
Yeah, now that we're past that, we're not going to talk about Japanese anymore in this episode.
Yeah, we're never going to talk about Japanese. Well, what's a
You
Japan?
can't have a Japanese corner when when Japanese is the entire floor and the ceiling.
The point is, onomatopoeia is fantastic, and while Choo Choo isn't a fully accurate title, Chugga Chugga would have been better, because that's effectively the sound.
No, it's not. They're the same thing.
No, Choo Choo is different. That's the tugging thing.
Yeah.
What's it called? The horn?
No, I can see it, because when I think chugga chugga, I'm still thinking of engine noise.
Chugga 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 Chugga
But
chugga,
chiki
chugga,
chiki
chugga.
is the sound of the wheels rolling over the track.
So it's Chugga Chugga. It's Chugga Chugga Chugga.
No, that's the
chugga,
sound
chugga.
of the engine moving the wheels.
Ah.
It's different. It's close, though.
Chiki chiki chiki. I think Chiki Chiki's a really nice sound though. Chiki Chiki, bang bang! For DigiNews this week, first of all, the best news. The huge Greymon is a huge Greymon! So we previously only saw, like, the prototype of the Greymon gem figure, and now we know that it's 25 centimetres.
That's big.
My golly, he bigums. So here's 108,000 yen.
That's like 140 Australian?
Yep, I pre-ordered him.
Why?
It was like
Where are
shipping
you gonna
was...
put it?
Shipping up, I'm going to put him on top of my computer because I'll have my computer by then.
This is a terrible
Shut
idea.
up. Shipping was like $40. I haven't paid for him yet because I pay later. So I'm going to have fun in July.
This is embarrassing.
No, I love him.
I hope you know that this being recorded is embarrassing.
No, but Sam from the Moncast also pre-ordered it, so we both pre-ordered it.
This is embarrassing for you too, Sam from the Moncast. I will forget this when we get to Patreon mentions, but it's embarrassing for
No,
you
it's
too.
not. So, oh my gosh, he bigums though.
Why?
I'm gonna, he's gonna arrive and I'm just gonna be like, this is just a Snorlax all
You'll
over
look
again.
at it and you'll think, oh, this was a mistake.
No,
I'm feeling that about the ogres I'm getting on Monday. Like, I don't know where I'm putting
yeah,
those.
but you play with those.
That's true. Also, I have to paint like half of them. That'll be fun.
The next bit of DigiNews is that Digimon Adventure is 18 years old as of March 7th.
That's big.
Since the end, I believe the prequel episode came out a day before that. So happy 18th, you can now drink in Australia. Hey.
You could have had parental supervision for a bit before.
Yeah,
that.
but like not everyone's like that, I think. But yeah, in Australia, like I'm pretty sure the legal drinking age is 16 with parent consent.
Dude, I was 7.
Yeah, I mean, I think I had.
I don't think parental consent has a legal drinking age to it. I think you
I
can
think
just
there's
do
a
it.
moral one of 16, but I feel like you're allowed
What
to.
do you mean? There's a moral law.
Yeah, there's
Laws
like
are inherently
yeah.
amoral. That's why they're there, so you don't have to think.
Good point. And the last bit of DigiNews is that Digimon Heroes has a new event. And I'm only mentioning this because, as Sam from the Moncast pointed out, the event gives you an Airdramon and the Crest of Sincerity.
I guess the 3 players who are still touching it, you, Sam, I guess, and whoever else it is in the world.
And Joe, Lonely Distance.
Yep, so in that case, you three will enjoy that. No one else will even know this happened.
But, Jay, it's Airdramon and the Crest of Sincerity.
I can see you marking out, and I can't feel any of this energy.
So Sam was like, dude, do you have, like, a fan who, like, works for Digimon Heroes?
If we do,
I love you.
I will play that game if they tell us.
Yeah, have like a Lost in Translationmon special event. You get a Lotmon and an Airdramon.
If someone can confirm I work for this company and I listen to you guys, I will play this game. But I don't think that'll happen, because I don't think it's true.
But can you imagine? I just feel like that's a pretty fun coincidence that you get, like... I mean, it's just a coincidence, most likely. But but why the Crest of Sincerity of all the crests?
I don't know. Look, at the end of the day...
As in the Crest of Purity.
Yeah, I'm aware of what it is.
The one I have on my body.
Yes, I'm aware of what it is. I've watched this show too. And it's just sometimes things line up.
I know, but I feel like it's a fun coincidence.
Like, when I was like, oh yeah, Samurai Jack's a cool show that I watched when I was a kid. I wonder what happened with that. I looked it up. Oh, it never ended. It ended on a cliffhanger. That sucks. And like 2 days later, they're like, oh yeah, we're releasing a new season now.
It's a comic though,
It's been 10 years. Yeah, no, but it doesn't matter. That's not canon.
Clearly, they're reading your mind.
Did you know?
Yeah.
And this is totally unrelated, but I just want to mention it. Did you know that Lucha Underground has a comic? And it, in canon, explains why they always had bands in every episode from the first season, and now they don't in the second. And also why, where the band was, the big bad guy is sitting on a throne. And it turns out that big bad guy, in kayfabe, murdered the band and made the throne out of their bones.
Wrestling is fun.
Wrestling's the best. Oh, Lucha Underground is so strong.
Yeah.
That comic is canon between seasons 1 and 2.
I'm so happy that exists. For Lost in NewsLatelymon, the only bit of Lost in NewsLatelymon we have is the weekly poll for next week, or this week rather, is going to be, is Phantomon cuter eating bread with his mouth shut or open? And this was brought on...
What does that mean?
Shut up, I'm explaining. So this is brought on by a discussion in our Patreon Slack chat, and Jeff from Prodigious says that it's cuter with the mouth shut, but it's obviously cuter with the mouth open, because you can see there's two little teeths.
When mouth shut, does that mean you can't see the mouth and he's just jamming it into the hood?
No, he's got like a little numbing mouth, so I'll show you the picture. So first of all, we have
there's two
mouth
pictures.
Shut. Mouth shut. Yeah,
Yep.
I'll provide these in the weekly poll. So we have mouth shut, and he's got the kind of like the lip over
see
the...
it.
And then there's the one that I think is the cutest with the mouth open with the little teeths.
It is mouth shut for sure.
Hey,
Vote
shut
mouth
up.
shut today.
Shut up. Okay, you and Jeff can be over
Vote
in
mouth
the
shut
in the mouth
immediately.
shut, and I will hang out with the cool people in mouth open with the cute little teethers. He's got teethers, Jay. Teethers.
That's fine.
Arbamon and Phantomon are the best because they have teethers.
It's no easy.
Tusk. So, yeah, that's it for Lost in NewsLatelymon, and on to Obnoxious Synopsis.
In which I was incredibly wrong.
Also, just quickly while we're on the topic of Obnoxious Synopsis, before we actually go to Obnoxious Synopsis, we won't have Obnoxious Synopsis next week, like the next episode, because we're doing the movie.
What?
I sent you a message. I was like, hey, guess what? We're covering the Digimon Frontier movie next week.
I don't remember that. Is that in multiple languages?
It's in 2.
Is it in...
It's
how long is it?
40 minutes.
Oh, it's going to be a good week.
It's about the same amount of time.
Wait, it's going to be a terrible week. It's just one set of notes, though. I guess that's the difference. Also...
And only one discussion.
Yeah, it's going to be an okay week.
So, yeah, we'll be watching that next week, so no Obnoxious Synopsis next week.
If I watch it at quadruple speed, then it'll only be 10 minutes each.
Wow, please don't do that. I feel like you won't get any of the supposed plot. So, yeah, on to Obnoxious Synopsis. Pachow! So just a bit before we actually get to Obnoxious Synopsis, I'm actually having to replace the original file because I made a boo-boo and I accidentally put up the wrong file for Obnoxious Synopsis. I actually put in episode 92's file instead of 93. And I did a quick check and I didn't see anything out of the ordinary because I'd already previously edited the Obnoxious Synopsis file. But the actual recording file I had misplaced with, as I said, the episode 92 file. So hopefully if you're listening to this, it's the first time and it's completely new to you. But I just thought I'd put a bit of explanation in before. And also, I don't super have enough time to redo all the segment places throughout the whole episode. So this Obnoxious Synopsis is fairly shorter than episode 92's one. So there might be a little bit of blank space after it that I have to unfortunately leave in, and it does sound very unprofessional, and it's not the highest of quality. But it has to be there because I don't have time to put in all the segment transitions and rewrite down all the times, because that does take a lot of time. So I'm sorry for that, and that's why I'm putting this bit of audio in, just to explain that. And so yeah, I'm very sorry, and I need to make sure that my files are more organised in future, and hopefully this bit that I'm recording now, because I'm just recording over in Audacity, turns out quite well. I'm just using my mic, so it should sound okay, hopefully. And so, sorry about that, and thank you, Riku, for letting me know. And hopefully not many other people will realise. Hopefully, because I only just uploaded just then. Alright, back to Obnoxious Synopsis. The first episode that we're watching this week is called Bizarre Bazaar, or Blizzarmon, Blow the Snow, Call the Glaciers. What do you think will happen in this episode?
I think that Chalkmon will get his evolution this time, because there's nothing subtle about it. He's just named.
What do you think Blizzarmon will look like?
A bigger bear.
What do you think the English dub name will be?
Wait, hold on.
Because so far they've all been references to previous evolutions except for Zephyrmon, who wasn't called like Wind Togemon or whatever, it was just called Zephyrmon.
Oh, that's lame. I'm still thinking it might be like Ursa Ikakumon or something dumb.
Bear Ikakumon, that's beautiful.
They need it to be like a bear.
Do you think anything will annoy this episode besides Frontier will be bad, which is, yeah.
The answer then will be yes.
Anything in particular, or just you think something will annoy you?
I guess that his evolution will be framed in, oh yeah, I beat up some stupid like dodo birds.
Do you think it'll be a good episode?
No.
What rating?
5.
Filler or not filler?
No.
The second episode this week that we're watching is called Trailmon vs. Trailmon, or Choo Choo, the Great Trailmon Race. What do you think will happen in this episode?
I think that basically the kids and the other evil human spirits will be like, the kids will be on a train and the evil human spirits will be chasing them, and that's basically what it will be. Like, I want Honey wants to be like, no, it's just a race, bro. It's just someone's with a big flag and they do it, and the kids bet on somebody, but it's not. It'll be just that they're being chased or something.
Do you think anything will annoy you in this episode?
God, how little I care. I don't care now. I'm going to care even less when the episode's on.
Do you think it'll be a good episode?
No.
What rating?
4.
Filler or not filler?
Yes.
Yes, filler?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll have to see what happens when we happen to watch.
See it to believe it.
Whoa. I don't know why I made that noise. I just felt that I would make a joke, but I didn't make a joke, so I just made a noise instead. Alright, on to the show. Alright, so actually I've decided to fill in white space because having white space is hard to skip. And yeah, as I said, it probably doesn't sound the best, so I'm going to talk about random stuff for the next probably minute and a bit. So I'll just say how my day went after I finished uploading the episode. So I was happy after I finished the episode because I thought that everything had turned out A-okay, and I didn't realise that I made a bit of a boo-boo. So I went for a walk and I caught lots of Pokemon, because I'm still playing Pokemon Go, and I found a krillfish nest. I was like, yeah, krillfish. My dog went for a swim, and then it saw a 3-legged dog who had probably been a 3-legged dog for quite a while because she moved exactly how a dog with 4 legs would move. And I made friends with that dog. Her name was Jenny, and she was shaped like a friend. And she ran around with my dog. And that's how my morning went. Jay is painting Warhammer outside right now. I haven't told him about my boo-boo. I will, and he will laugh at me. So you can bet your money on that. Do I have any Digimon-related things to say? Not sure. But I'm hoping that Jay likes the movie that we're covering next time. He probably won't. And I'm sorry that there's no Obnoxious Synopsis for that, but I guess it's less time that I get to stuff up. How much longer do I have to talk for? Hopefully not long. I think I still have to talk for like 40 minutes. I'm sorry. So, Yeah. How's the weather where you are? It's cloudy here. I hope it's going to be cold soon because it means I can start wearing my scarf again. That'd be pretty baller. I've been trying to come up with more ideas for content that we can make, so that's exciting. Oh my gosh, I see the segment little highlightation. No, I still have to talk for a few minutes, I think. No, wait, no, a few seconds. That's good. I see it coming up, hopefully. Did I forget to put the segment bit in here? Apparently I did. I'm going to have to put that in now. Okie dokie. I guess I'll do that then.
And now we're back, and boy was I wrong. I called what the second episode would be, and then backed it out.
You're like, no, but they have to make it with the plot. They can't just do filler. It has to have, like, the spirits.
It could just be a big race between the trains, but they'd never do that.
Well, at least the humans were in it in some way.
No, they just did a big train race. Because I couldn't imagine how they could just sit aside and do a train race and oh, it's wacky races. Okay. Mm-hmm. It makes so little sense with the tracks, though.
Mm.
Also, what are the train drivers doing? What input did they have?
They have no actual input besides, I guess... Well, they did in the way that Shadow where Garurumon cheated.
No, but it is implied that they're driving it because Namon's doesn't go.
Yes.
But also, others stand on top of theirs and aren't driving it and are doing fine. We're not on that episode right now.
Yeah, we're not even on that episode now.
I needed to talk about this one because it's fresh.
But we'll talk. Well, yeah, we have a bit where we talk about Obnoxious Synopsis, but that's not that part. So the start of the episode starts as always with a recap, and in the original version, it straight up lies to you, and it says Shutamon drove Kalmaramon away. I'm like, no, that didn't actually happen. She just kind of lost her temper and blasted off herself.
But it sounds nicer when you put it this way.
I'm like, no, Shutamon actually kind of just stood there and was attractive.
Oh, there was a fight that she lost.
Yeah, she effectively lost.
Yes.
We see Arbamon, and he's instantly my favourite, and I'm so glad that I have the correct subs now, because now we see what Arbamon's actually like.
Dental hygiene from under the sea.
And there's this ding-dong noise, and he lifts up his hand, and he's like, I just woke up. Time to brush my teeth. Always make sure you brush your teeth when you wake up.
So here's the thing. I don't have the new subs, and mine also said that.
Well, that's good then.
I get the sense that the subs are exactly the same, but this only starts now.
Maybe. Well...
Because he's never done this ding-dong thing before. This is new.
No, there were a few parts that a few people were saying that Arbamon just kind of saying random facts.
Because that's now.
Yeah, but the ding-dong wasn't played previously, but apparently there are other episodes where he just said random facts.
In that case, my guys have improved.
Yep.
In that case, I'm not... I mean, the download failed, and... Sure.
But
we'll just continue as
I was using the real one, the good ones, and the quality of it's better quality in general, so I'm happy to have them.
No, if it's bad quality, then it reflects how I feel about the show.
Mm. So in the dub, he just says how he's going to make whoever made him work so hard pay.
That's also, I don't like how he does this weird gangster voice. It makes him so uninteresting compared to this big weirdo who's just giving helpful advice.
Yeah.
Sorry, later they have somebody that kicks down the front door and
always lock your doors.
Damon's like, what? He's like, just a tip, you should lock your doors. He's like, but I did. And he's like, I know.
I kind of love Arbamon in the original. We find out that Toucanemon traded their detectors for a camera, and he's just looking through it, and it's closed. And this is kind of a funny moment.
They're like, is it broken? Or did he leave the lens cap on?
No, because you see the lens cap is on. He's like, well, it's broken. This is junk. Well, and I'm like, it's a really funny moment.
It's neither of those, because we find out later it's just that the shutter is closed and it turns on by itself, and then the lens comes out and the shutter opens. So it would be funnier if it was actively the lens cap, if you saw Tommy reach in and pull the lens cap off it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. It just turns itself on.
I still feel it's pretty funny.
It is funny.
And, spoilers, I didn't find that episode too bad.
You're right, spoilers. In our show, where you don't watch the episode, but we tell you everything that happened. Good spoiler warning.
No, spoilers for the episode. I didn't find the episode too bad. Spoilers for our discussion, I guess.
Pretty mediocre.
I found it alright. The kids are cold, and Koji gives Izumi his jacket, and I just want to tell you, because you're not aware of, the full fandom of Digimon.
With Izumi's reverse harem anime?
No, this part launched, all these ships.
You mean I'm pretty sure they were what is it? I'm really smart at talking. I'm pretty sure it launched 1,000 sleds after all this
Oh my
ship.
God.
It's just surfing on the snow after a point.
It's not a ship, it's a sled.
Yep. And then they hit a snowman.
This isn't a scene, it's a goddamn sled race.
So they hit a snowman, and then they end up in the right place.
But no, before we get to that, first of all,
Also, Junpei's mad jelly.
regarding the snowman, I just want to tell you something. Do you remember that thing I believe I showed you for I Will Show You DigiWorld, like...
No.
I want to say, like, a year and a bit ago?
I guarantee you I don't remember.
So I had to show you the Snowman Mon, which was, I believe, a Fox Kids created Digimon for the holiday season, and it was just a snowman.
Was it that one?
It looks like this. Like, it was before Digimon Frontier. It was during the Adventure Time, but I don't know, it just looks like it.
Well, yeah, it's a snowman mon. It's going to look like snowmen. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So they hit the same...
No. Again, before that. So, yeah, Zoe says that Koji is the best, and JP in the dub says, oh, why can't you say that to me? And then I noticed something really weird in the dub. I feel like they played the Tomoki being amazed that Namon is sleeping, and I feel like they played this twice. They played it at the start of the episode when we're seeing them on the bobsled, and then again after Koji gives Izumi the jacket. I'm pretty sure it's only played once in the original, but I could be wrong here.
No, it is... I can't believe you're asleep at the start, and, oh my god, if you're asleep, you'll die. Now, he sounds surprised both times, and I thought that was weird, but it is a different scene.
But it's the same animation. He does the same, like, face, and Namon does the same sort of, like, snot bubble. So I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's the same scene, even if they replayed it in both versions, I don't know. But I don't remember it being twice in the original, but I could have missed it. They land somewhere warm, and we find out this is the Akiba market, and there's lots of background Digimon characters, which I love.
Thank you, the script, for landing us when we crash landed out of control in exactly the right place.
Yes, it's very lucky.
Also, I'm trying to imagine how the land works, where, think about it, they were on water, and then they hit snow and went downhill, and then they landed through a snowman onto this hot area. So the heat stops, and then there's snow, and the water, which is above this land level, this land is below sea level, right? They're really lucky there's this frigid zone that's freezing the water out. This is nonsense.
Shh, Digimon.
There's a wall of cold
Digital
that's
world.
acting as a dam.
Digital world.
If that stopped being there, they'd get flooded over immediately.
Shush with your logic. It's digital world.
I don't...
It's Digimon now.
This is the worst show.
No.
Also, there's an Etamon in the background.
You're right. It is the worst show because we have things like Dogmon's, which is the superior product.
You mean Doggymon in the next episode?
Doggymon.
Also, I believe he's in this episode too.
In the background, probably.
Yeah.
In the dub, Takuya says, hey, look, it's the fair thing. I'm like, thank you. I'm glad that we've made Takuya much dumber than we needed to be.
It's the fair thing. Nice.
Alas, fair thing. I don't know where I was going with that.
Okay, I believe it's alas poor Yorick, so I don't think we know where you're going with that.
I was trying to make a joke. It didn't quite land on target, but I feel like I tried, and that's really what matters.
Sorry, I wasn't being fair with you there.
Oh, fight me.
Fair enough.
This is so unfair.
It's a farewell from me.
Then we... Oh my gosh, why do you even exist? Fair off.
What is that?
It was meant to be
That's garbage.
That's like a cuss.
That's garbage.
It's no easy cuss.
That was better.
I hate you so much. So, there's a nice little montage with some fun music, and the kids are asking Digimon around, but there's no narration, there's just music. In the dub, of course, they can't just have silence and just music, they have to have them talking, so it's just basically the kids all asking, hey, you seen Toucanmon? Nah. And they just do that a few times instead of just having no narration, which I would have preferred. And then we see Dukemon, and okay, this is a bit I liked, even though they added voices where silence was. That it's Takato and Gilmon's voice talking at the same time. Which, I know it makes no sense. It makes no sense.
God.
It makes no sense. And this is obviously in the dub. But it's a nice little reference and Easter egg.
It's not a reference. It immediately tells you that Tamers is also in this universe.
No, but they're not. But...
The D-Reaper is somewhere in this bazaar. You just need to find it if you look close enough.
Oh my... It probably is there. Like, it's a Where's Waldo with Digimon characters, really.
Where's Waldomon?
So is the next episode. These 2 episodes are just basically like, look at all the Digimons we can fit in the background.
Here's a hint, I didn't look into the backgrounds that hard.
I did.
Yeah,
There's
I know
a
you
Gabumon
did.
and an Agumon on a date. I think in this episode, I think.
I want to see that.
There's like an Edamon in the scene, but if you look to the left of the Edamon...
Because I saw 2 Edamons at various points, and I saw a Gomamon, and I'm like, okay, that's enough.
I believe there's also a Monzemon with a cape. No, there's
I
some
saw
fun
a man,
times.
a full-grown man. He must have been like 50. He had a beard, walking around the street with a Superman shirt that had a cape on the back of it.
I thought you were talking about in Digimon. I was like, there was a 50-year-old man in the background.
You looked legit shocked.
Yeah, because I
Legit
thought you were
shocked.
saying in the background of the episode.
No, I saw a full-grown dude in real life wearing a Superman
Well,
shirt
that's
with a cape on it.
That's adorable. So just let him have his fun, alright?
I did. I was proud of him. He let his freak flag fly.
He sure did. Tomoki's losing hope and then decides not to give up. He finds a house with a Nanomon playing a game. In the dub...
You're in the Datamon.
In the dub for starters, it's called Datamon, but it's Nanomon. And in
You
the
mean
dub,
Nanomon?
instead of just noticing that he's a human and thinking nothing of it, Datamon says he can't be good at the game because he's just a human.
Yeah, there's something about the dub where, I mean, it does happen in Japanese a bit too, but they're really racist against humans.
Oh, they're worse in the original in the next episode.
You think so?
Yeah, the trainer's like, oh, you're a human? And then at the
You're
end he's like,
garbage.
and then at the end he's like, oh, sorry for being slightly racist to you. But we'll get to that in the next episode. So Tomoki asks if he can play, and he says that he's good at games. In the dub, Datamon, when Tommy's playing, keeps giving him help, and he doesn't shut up the whole time. He's just like, oh, watch out for that. Oh, watch out for that. Oh, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. And that's in the dub, obviously. Tomoki beats the game, and Nanamon's impressed, and asks if all human children are this good. In the dub, Tommy says that he's the only one.
Are my specialty.
He says he's the only human who's good at games.
That's a huge lie.
Yeah, but he's 8, and I'm pretty sure all 8-year-old boys say that.
It's big lying. Oh god.
Nanamon gets something from the game as a prize and goes to put it away. In the dub, Datamon's a lot more secretive about what he just goes like, oh, it's nothing. Instead of just saying, oh, we got an item, it's a prize. And he just he's kind of more thankful.
Here's a question. Why was he playing the game to get this thing out? He's clearly okay with opening stuff up with a screwdriver later in the episode.
It must be something you can only win by getting.
Really?
Maybe
Why?
he doesn't want to cheat. Maybe he doesn't want to cheat.
Why must it be that?
I don't know. He also put Sora tried to clone Sora. So why didn't they have okay? You know what I want to see?
What?
And this is kind of a little bit off
A
topic.
Clonosaur in the background
Yes,
helping out?
because you know how we saw that Wormmon keychain
Yes.
on that Izumi's friends were looking for when we had the flashback?
Yeah.
What if we just had all these references to previous seasons of Digimon? How on board would you be? If he just had a Sora figurine
No, not a figurine. I want legitimately that's my shop helper. Don't ask about her.
and
he
she's
goes,
just standing.
Okay.
Now, that'd be slightly terrifying, but I feel like it'd be a nice little Easter egg, right?
It'd be funny for us. It would be funny for kids back then who would be really confused. It would also confirm the same universes. Which is
Yeah,
a
but
problem.
also in the dub, Takato and Gilmon were there, technically.
Yeah.
Nanamon opens a vault and Tomoki sees the detectors, so he demands to have them back. Nanamon says that they're his. Tomoki explains that they were stolen, and Nanamon asks for proof. Tomoki says he can evolve, but Nanamon says, you're lying, I'm not even going to give them to you. And to be fair, that's fair enough.
It is especially fair enough because if that's what the function of the device is, it doesn't matter if that belongs to him because even if it didn't, he could just evolve with it because that's what it does. And if you don't know what it does, then it's not proof.
Tomoki starts saying, I'll trade you my hat and my shoes. And he starts trying to trade things, and I think this is a really cute part.
I'm really struggling to remember, but I feel like Datamon in the English was like, ew.
Yeah, in English
I don't want that.
he says ew. Nanamon starts opening Tomoki's detector because he's trying to find the right one, and we don't know what he's referring to yet. In the dub, he says that he's fixing it for the next buy, and he's just testing them, and instead of saying, oh, this is the one, he says, oh, this one needs fixing, referring to Tomoki's detector.
Which we find out at the end, it doesn't.
Oh no, it makes no sense why he said, oh, it needs fixing, when it made more sense to say it's the one. I'm not sure why they changed it.
He has no ulterior motive here. He's not trying to trick Tommy. He's being totally honest with him. So
Nanamon's actually a good character here.
what's happening is actually he's trying to trick the audience because it was in the script.
Oh god, but it was in the dub script, so it's even it's a lesser version of the script.
No, it was in the script of the first one too.
So I just want to say something here. I really like Nanamon as a character. I feel like, in my memory, he was kind of scummy and kind of mean, but he's being completely
He's fairly reasonable.
he's being a reasonable business owner, maybe because he was not wanting to give them the detectives, I was kind of like, oh, he's mean. But now as an adult, I'm like saying, no, he's being like, look, I don't trust you, kid. I don't know who you are. How do I know you're telling the truth?
It's just that you've grown up and you hate children now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that too. So then, where am I? Nanamon gets called up to keep it down as he has neighbours apparently. And then it's apparently Arbamon on the phone, so I'm not sure why he said to keep it down. So I think this is just Arbamon being weird. Then Arbamon says, and we get ding dong, he raises his finger, when you go to sleep, make sure all the entrances are locked.
That's really creepy.
Thanks, Arbamon. In the dub, it's him saying, well, make sure they're still there or else. So I guess it's a threat when he's on the phone instead of just being weird Arbamon. So Nanamon just said, I don't understand what you're saying, buddy. It's
really weird to me that the Digivices can be taken apart by a screwdriver. I feel like if they're like holy relics, I know that's a different season, but I assume it maintains, then you'd think they'd be sort of indestructible in a small way. No, you can't just poke at them until they fall apart. Because this implies how easy this was to get off, that if you dropped it on a rock, it would shatter like a piece of electronics, like nowadays.
I actually kind of like it that we see it being opened up.
I think it's interesting, but I think if you're going to open it up, you have it in a really interesting way. Like, the only person who should have been able to open a Digivice in Adventure, for example, was Piedmon. If he did it, you'd be like, something serious is happening.
Yeah, but in the previous seasons, we always saw that, especially with the Digivice, that evil could not touch them.
Yeah, I know. But, like, I feel like that would be a cool thing to have, though, with Piedmon, because it would be a very, like, Voldemort, I can touch you, Harry Potter! Ha 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 ha! Spoilers for Book 4.
Finally, I can touch
you!
Voldemort's creepy.
Undertaker, let's do this!
No one will understand your reference.
It's really just the way his voice goes. But yeah, it doesn't make sense for him to be able to open them, but it's...
I find it cool. Shut up.
It should have been saved for someone cooler.
But no, he's a robot Digimon, you know what?
No,
it's fine.
Crap.
Nanamon goes to open up Takuya's too, and Tomoki's like, no, stop, just wreck his. Like, his...
No, just wreck mine.
Yeah. And then he says that he's a burden to everybody, but Takuya, Koji, and Junpei, we're missing one here, are different, and they need their Digivices to save the world.
Yeah, Izumi doesn't.
In the dub, he mentions Zoe, so thank you, dub, for not forgetting one of the characters. But he mainly says the same thing, except for adding in Zoe. And it's not really said that he would prefer his to get destroyed, which I kind of like. Like, he's quite, like, selfless and sacrificial for an 8-year-old.
So I know something slightly different to you here, which is that when Tommy says, you can wreck mine, but not that one, in the Japanese, it's such a subtle difference, but the Japanese Datamon goes, what does that mean? He's asking about the thing that Tommy just said, and so what he's asking is, and it was clear, why is it cool for yours to be destroyed but not theirs?
Yeah, no, I got that as well,
explanation comes out.
Yep.
In English, oh yeah, kid, what's all the brouhaha? Why are you making noise?
Yeah, he's asking why he's crying.
It's just like, what are you doing with the noise? And so the explanation has nothing to do with, like, selflessness, and it's more just like, oh, this is a fact. And what it especially means is that Datamon never, in the English, doesn't see the selflessness of it.
And that line that he says in the English version kind of is a bit weird considering...
Yeah, it's weird. He mentioned Izumi. Who does that?
No, I mean what Datamon says.
Oh, the brouhaha.
Because the next scene is him saying, I haven't thanked you yet. I'm going to give you an hour to find something to trade to get these items back.
Well, I always see it as just like, he saw the kid crying really hard, and he's like, fine.
I just thought, like, oh, he seems pretty genuine, but I still don't want to potentially be scammed, so I'm still going to give him an offer. But I find
that he can't refuse.
I still feel like in the dub, it's pretty much of a jump for, like, saying, hey, stop not making noise, shut up, child. Tomoki then starts screaming around and looking for the other children.
He's screaming around?
Yeah, he's screaming and he's running around. He's screaming around. Reminds me of that show, Sticking Around.
It makes me
For
think...
your big fat information, this is our imagination. Did you ever watch that?
What it is.
You have no childhood,
No,
my
but
friend.
what it makes me think of is that he's like a green Sonic ball, and as he moves, he just makes a screaming noise.
Screaming around at the speed of sound. Got places to go, gotta
follow
follow my
scream
Digimon.
bow.
We went different ways with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Sticking Around was
Wouldn't it be
fantastic.
Rainmon?
Gotta follow my Rainmon. Ranamon?
No.
Yeah, too many syllables.
It's not. It would fit in just fine.
Namon is in a tree and goes, wonder where he's going. Because, Namon, please, I love you so much.
He's just really chilled out.
In the dub, he's just like, wonder where he's going. I didn't realize he could run that fast. Oh well. Why are these the best characters and why did I hate them when I was a kid?
I don't know. You had terrible taste.
A Trailmon spits out Toucanemon and says that they can't ride without a ticket.
Good foreshadowing for a plot hole.
Why?
Okay, so the end of the episode, big spoilers now that you're listening to a show where we tell you everything that happens in the episode. But at the end of the episode, obviously, Izumi has tickets for the train, and everyone goes, yay, now we can get there. Okay, so they've ridden on trains plenty of times. Mm-hmm. They've never needed tickets before, and if you were to say, oh, well, they did need tickets, they just bought them off screen, we also know they've never had money. They don't have any, so they couldn't have bought them.
And they didn't trade their camera for it either.
No. So, why do they need tickets now?
Because they needed to say that you needed tickets to travel, and then that showed the later part, so it was in the script.
No, but the only functional part of this that made you need, that introduced the need for tickets, is showing the birds getting kicked off the train. Because the prize could have been something else that's arbitrary. It doesn't matter what it is. It could have been something disappointing and that would be funny, right? Because they would say, oh, well, we'll just go on a train. Because they can do that, and that's what they do anyway. And that's what they've always done. So the only thing it does is it says, oh, look, the birds got kicked off the train. There are other ways to do this without creating a massive plot hole for the rest of the season. I want to remember this, because every time they're on a train now, I want to be like, did they buy a ticket?
No. It's specifically that one, I believe.
No.
No. I feel like it's that one because he's like the slightly more, like, posh one. Like he had...
But, okay, so if somebody had won that eating competition that wasn't Izumi, would they... Can you ask for which train tickets you get?
No,
where?
It's the premium one. I feel like he's the premium service of Trailmon.
Is that ever mentioned, or are you making that up entirely?
I just feel like it was implied. That was just the impression that I got.
From what? From the fact that there was tickets?
I just started singing impression that I get. I'm really tired. No, I just got the impression because he looked like one of those really nice trains that go across Europe.
Mate, they come in a bajillion different shapes and sizes. For whatever reason, this Digimon of all Digimon comes in lots of different
ones. But he's the nicest
one
looking
of them looks like a mole.
Yeah, he's the nicest looking one. Mole doesn't have seats. Neither does the duck one. No, but we literally find out he doesn't have seats when we met him a few episodes ago.
But the different ones could have different carriages.
And then he was ticklish.
No, but like... You're taking it off what the guy looks like rather than what the show is telling you.
I feel like that's what's telling me.
What the show tells me, because what they say, the kids weren't around for that exchange, by the way. The kids did not see, you can't ride, you don't have tickets.
It's for the audience. It is very much saying the script to you.
No, look.
Just let me try to explain.
Let me say my point first, then you can explain.
No, I already explained.
So, then I'll say my point now that you're done. The kids did not see, you need a ticket to ride this train. The kids say, without ever having seen that, and not knowing that the premium train goes by, because they still haven't seen that either, they say, I guess we're going to walk now. And then the response is, no, I have tickets for the train. They go, oh, we can take the train now, that's good. But they've always taken the train!
I feel like we should have had Tomoki see this scene play out, because we see Tomoki next, and he sees the Toucanemon, so I feel like he should have seen the scene and gone, that train goes that way, and we need tickets for it.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
I know, I'm just saying, what if, like, that would have been a fix, right?
Yeah, I imagine. Maybe.
Takuya and Koji see Junpei, and Junpei says, look, I'm eating for a wonderful present, and it might be the Digivice. And then he says, it was Izumi's idea, and we just see her eating, and this is the most character development she's ever had.
She's Italian, so she eats a lot.
And in the dub, JP saw the sign, and it seems almost like he says, oh, Zoe said it could be a Digivice, but it's not actually said it seems to be JP's plan, though, to eat a lot.
Yeah, he seemed like he was just kicking the can along. He's like, yeah, she definitely said it was a good idea.
But in the original, I feel like Izumi saw the sign, she said, let's do this. And
well, she's clearly doing much better than he is.
Oh, yes.
Also,
she won.
Also, if he went to do something on his own, she wouldn't have followed. If she went to do something, he would go.
He would follow because he's thirsty. Takuya's wondering where she stores it all.
Good question.
And in the dub, Koji says, well, she's a growing girl.
But, like, if you think of it in, like, a vaguely math way, if she looks like she already finished 30 plates. Like, already. By the way, that's an absurd number, but 30 plates, 30 meals. I actually think that might be about the volume of her body, because she's pretty small.
Oh, yeah.
She physically could not fit the food into her body.
Well, yeah.
But it's a cartoon, so whatever.
I feel like maybe she has a super fast metabolism that basically,
doesn't matter.
she's burning it while she's eating. That's how fast
No,
she,
it doesn't matter because there's waste product in there, and that means there's poop building up.
She got to go to the toilet after this, is what you're saying.
I'm saying that that's what's filling her veins right now.
Tomoki runs into the Toucanmon and he chases after them. I really like when they just sort of run into each other and they just start screaming at each other. But I also feel like that's how Tomoki should react to seeing all Digimon, because as humans, Digimon are quite scary.
It was so funny. I always love that. It's the good guy and the bad guy going around a corner in a cartoon.
It you! The next scene, we have Bokumon and Namon telling Takuya and Koji that they saw Tomoki. Then the next scene is, we jump around scenes a lot. Nanamon's loading the prize into the detector. And then the next scene is the Toucanmon dropping through ice, and the camera turns on. Camera janai.
It's a good thing that the prize out of this old Space Invaders game, in which the player character is a Togemon.
Yeah, can we talk about how that makes no sense? We have an alien Digimon. We have a gun Digimon. We have Deputy Mimon, who is his crotch is a gun.
No, but this is Togemon.
Why is it Togemon?
So anyway, you see the prize that comes out of this old Space Invaders cabinet happens to be compatible with Digivices.
Oh, no, it was in the script. No, definitely. I'm not going to disagree with you there.
In fact, it also had a beast spirit in it. That's convenient.
And it was the one we were looking for.
It wasn't one of the bad guys' ones.
No, it was the one who needed his beast. No, it was in the script, but all of them have been.
In fact, it's really convenient that the only reason the kids are here is because the birds got here first and led them here.
And traded the detectors in to
Nanaemon, this store!
Who had the machine that got the beast spirit.
Yeah, that's amazing!
At least they said the detector was reacting to the beast spirit in this episode, though.
Did they?
Yes, because Nanaemon was finding, the one that was reacting the most to the prize.
I thought he just found the one that didn't have the thing filled up.
No, he was... Maybe.
Because he opens it and it has two dots in it.
Yeah, you're right, and it goes all the way. And yeah, you're right. It scrolls all the way to the side of the radar. Maybe that's it.
No, because that thing he's doing there is not reacting to the device. That's just an electronic meter.
Yeah, but one goes halfway, and that's Tomoki's, and the other ones go fully, so maybe you're right. Oh, that's terrible. I just assumed it was detecting the spirit. Oh. Whoops, that's awful.
This is the most, just whacking... Oh, the script is so it is full on, here's point A, here's point B, fill the middle with whatever you need, but we are getting from point A to point B in this amount of time. We don't have enough time. Then it doesn't make any sense.
Show it to your child and let them fill it in then.
If you're not going to write it for us, make your kid write it. We'll pay him in carrots.
Tomoki says that the Toucanmon are evil, but he's going to help them anyway, which turns out to be a mistake.
Oh my god.
The Toucanmon run off with the camera and call him stupid. In the dub, they just laugh at him.
Let me tell you.
Yeah?
This is the funniest scene in Double Speed. Because there's no delay. There's no oh, I think this might have gone well. It's literally he puts the camera down, he helps them out of the water, and they've already gone with the camera.
Oh no, it is like that in when you've watched it like a normal person as well.
Oh, I don't know. It's you want me to hit my camera? I wouldn't let you.
Takuya and the others show up. Tomoki runs up to Takuya and hugs him and cries. I really like their friendship, and you can't tell me otherwise.
Because of how quick it happens in Double Speed, that's really all funny.
Shut up!
You should watch all this in Double Speed.
Arbamon breaks through a wall to the Nanaemon shop, and then, ding! Finger pointing up. After using the toilet, make sure to wash your hands. Why? Why are you doing this, Arbamon? I love him. In the dub, he says, knock knock, it always pays to be polite. And Daudamon says it's not polite to break in.
Because they had to justify that I'm turning to the camera now to talk to the audience.
I like the original gimmick. I find that hilarious.
But it doesn't make it's a punchline that doesn't make any sense to an English audience. In fact, the reason we're laughing is it's not because it's funny, but it's absurdity.
Yeah, no, that makes it funny. I found those parts funny.
My favourite thing right now, the thing that I've laughed at the most, is I've been watching Space Patrol Luluco, and there's this joke where it's the first episode, and her dad gets frozen, and she takes him to the police station, and she goes up to the police chief, whose name is Overjustice,
That's silly.
And then she's like, my dad's been frozen. And he's like, you're under arrest! And she's like, well, I didn't do anything. He goes, you're free to go! My dad's frozen. What happened? Oh, he got frozen eating breakfast. Who made breakfast? I did. You're under arrest! It wasn't my fault. You're free to go!
That's adorable.
And it also overdusted as a big flaming skeleton. And just the absurdity of it killed me. That show's really good, by the way. You should watch at least the first
give it a go,
episode.
but you have to watch uninstall.
7-minute episodes.
I keep on calling it uninstall now because of you. You have to watch Bokura no, and I'll watch
I want
thing.
to. I just need to get it somehow. But yeah, that's 7-minute episodes. You
Okay,
it's
wow.
easy
7
to
minutes.
watch.
Okay, no, that's
It's by the guys
doable.
who did Kuren Lagann and Kill la Kill.
Oh wow, that trigger's weird.
It's so strong.
So Arbamon says to Nanomon that he has the Toucanemon and he wants to trade them for
I
the
think it's so
detector.
funny. What is that a slave trade? Like, what's he doing?
He's just saying, I have these, give me. I think Nanomon just trades anything for anything, maybe?
No, but he doesn't. He doesn't take hats and shoes.
Maybe he just didn't want hats or shoes. But
He
I want Tomoki's
He takes
hat.
electronics.
Okay.
He's clearly an electronics store.
Well, Toucanemon maybe are electronics because they're Digimon.
He didn't accept them. Arbamon just had them to hand.
In the dub, he doesn't offer them for trade. He says, I want to know what they traded. It seems like more of a,
That makes more
I'm
sense.
gonna beat you up.
Well, it's I'm a gangster, right? Give me the thing I want.
Then Nanomon looks into the camera and sees a video, this is so plot convenient by the way, of Tomoki rescuing the Toucanemon. And he says that he can't trade to Arbamon because he has another client.
This is the least plot convenient part of the episode.
The fact that the camera turned on and
No, but we saw it turn on.
I know, but I'm just saying that's plot convenient.
No, but at least this one kind of makes sense.
Yeah, this part makes sense, but because he looks into it, but the fact that the camera turned on in the first place is plot convenient.
No, but like, we can accept that one. Honestly, because the idea that their raft hits a snowman and then they're suddenly in the right place,
Yeah.
or that it led them to the exact right place where all these things occurred, that's crazy. But if your point is, okay, they traded for a camera, and then they dropped the camera and it accidentally turned on, you go, okay, it could have done that.
Yep.
There's nothing too wacky in the way. It's just, it fell in a particular position. And okay, it's not a big problem.
Okay, good point. So then Arbamon slide evolves. I really like Petaldragon. I've decided Petaldragon's amazing.
Looks cool.
I like Arbamon.
But the problem with Petaldragon is that it's a weird thing for Arbamon to turn into. Like, and I know the beast spirit and the human spirit shouldn't actually be technically completely related, but they always are.
Yeah.
So, at that point, besides the fact they're made of wood, they're not related, and I think Arbamon should have become something that's more, I guess, arms and... yeah, I think it's just that he totally changes colours and everything as well.
I know, but I really like how it also becomes a dragon, because Dramon means dragon.
It doesn't come with a dragon, it comes with a lizard.
Petal-Dramon?
No, I know it says that, but it's a lizard.
It's a Dramon-type Digimon, meaning it's a dragon.
Look, it's a Komodo dragon at best.
The kids hear a
The
nose
worst
and
kind
run
of
over to Nanomon's shop. Takuya and Koji grab sticks, because apparently that's just what we do, and we've seen this before, they just always instinctively grab sticks.
I know, it's not like they can evolve or anything.
Yeah, I know it's because they can't evolve, but I'm just
they can.
I'm just
no,
noting
they can't, they don't have the
that
viruses.
they grab... I know, they keep on grabbing the sticks. Tomoki's sad, and he says that he doesn't have anything to trade Nanomon. Nanomon touches his face and asks him if he knows the saying, honesty is the best policy. In the dub, the saying is, truth is the greatest treasure. Tomoki says no. Nanomon gives him the detector. Tomoki shakes the detector, and Nanomon laughs and says it's not broken.
It is rattling, though.
And he added the prize he got from the game, and that's why it's rattling.
Is it a pedometer?
No, it's a bee spirit.
No, it's a stylus. That's why it rattles.
Yeah, but you can't
Oh,
make that
the in-jokes.
Okay, so, briefly explain this. So, my best friend Mitch, who I believe was on the Next Order stream, he was holding his 3DS once, and he said, hey, you can hear the pendulum in it that works for the pedometer when you shake it. And I said, no, it's a motion detector. It doesn't have a pedometer in it. Nothing uses pedometers like the little ball bearing anymore. And he says, no, but listen, shake, 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 and it goes rattle, rattle, rattle. And I said, no, you're wrong, that's the stylus. He says, no, it's not. I'm like, and I said, well, take the stylus out then, Mitch. And he takes the stylus out, and I'm like, see? Start shaking it, silence. I look at him, and I'm like, Mitchell, was it the stylus? And he says, yes. And, yeah. I hope that's okay that I told that story. Not that Mitch is ever going to listen.
I hope he shows up tomorrow.
Well, he will, but I'm also going to bring him on for X Evolution, by the way.
That's fine. I don't want him to watch the movie again.
Yeah, and also maybe for the Odaiba Day special.
I don't care.
I care. But yeah, so, brief explanation of the random in-joke that Jay just shoved in.
It's solid. I laughed. That's what matters.
My heart laughed. Poor Mitchell.
So he evolves, I guess.
Yeah, he evolves, and I have to admit, this is a kind of a cute way to get it, even if it's plot convenient. It's still like, all the other ones are pretty plot convenient as well.
It's not like this. This requires so much.
Now
Also,
I think about
it is an
yeah.
Ikakumon, like I said it would be.
I found something really weird about this. So
What?
I believe that Cordy means ice in Japanese. So once again, the dub is using Japanese, so it's basically Icy Kakumon.
Yes.
That's his name.
Yep.
His name is Blizzamon in the original. I'm not sure why they changed it.
He's gonna die when they mistake him for Wizamon.
Oh my gosh, please don't do that to him. I love him. Blizzamon prays after an attack and he gets caught out and it's adorable. Then he also he's like not being able to control his beast spirit just means he's hyper. And Takuya says he's either going for attention or he's just going with the flow.
But I thought it was also the praying part. Like, it seems mixed. Because he was praying and then he got tackled. As in, he wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
So he probably lost control there too.
Yeah. But he also starts jumping around and gets all hyper. And Bokumon says that he can't control his beast spirit yet. In the dub, Takuya says that he can't control his beast spirit yet, and that he looks silly. Bokumon then says he doesn't look as silly as Takuya did when he got his. And like, yes, Bokumon, it was so totally hilarious and silly when Takuya tried to kill everyone.
He totally talks about that. He says, like, at least he didn't try to kill it. Like,
Yeah.
he's not trying to murder his
Like,
friends.
wow, sick burns, Bokumon. Usually a Gunimon should be the one laying down the sick burns, but today it's Bokumon. Bokumon is the legendary spirit of burns. Nanamon throws Takuya and Koji their detectors and tells them to help. And I noticed, again, the spirit evolution in the dub is split out into two separate evolutions instead of a split screen one. So Takuya and Koji break Petaldramon's vines around Korikakumon, and then they kind of just blast him off into the distance instead of actually defeating him. So I guess we still have that spirit to fight.
Korikakumon blasts him.
Yep.
So he gets to win. It's better than Shutumon does.
Yeah, but he doesn't get to have sort of a victory. He just sort of has a temporary. It sort of like skated away into the distance.
He got a win, not a victory, I guess.
Takuya says that Tomoki's personality changed, and Tomoki wonders if it did. In the dub, Tommy says he's happy that he at least didn't hurt anyone. And then Takuya says it's upsetting.
Sidelong glance at Takuya.
Yeah. And he says, why do people keep on bringing this up? Like, because you tried to kill everyone.
It's not his fault.
The kids then get a message from a Phantomon who asks them if they want to keep going, and they say yes.
But are you sure, though?
And they say, go to the Venus Rose.
Well, no, it says you should go to the
Yeah,
Venus
no, that's
Rose.
what I said. A Phantomon says, let's go to the Venus Rose, basically. In the dub, it's the Rose Morning Star, which the Venus is a morning star. Okay, I get it.
But also, in the Japanese, it's go to the Venus Rose, and in English, it's beneath the morning star.
Yes.
Which is a bit weird.
Bokumon casually points out the purple thing in the distance and says, that is where we have to go.
That's convenient that you can just see it.
And then the kids wonder how they'll get there. Izumi shows the train tickets and says, I won.
And in English, she goes, this is what I got for eating all that horrible food. She was calling for more of it.
Oh no, she enjoyed it in the original at least.
But and she enjoyed it at the time. She was clearly on board. But in English, at the end, she's like, that was awful.
But Jay, was she all aboard? Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. What do you think this episode is someone who is new to Digimon?
Look, it's probably one of the better episodes of Frontier.
Oh yes, definitely.
But I still don't like it.
I really like this episode.
This episode is it just has too much plot convenience in it. Like it goes beyond like my ability to. It's a cartoon. You can do whatever you want. Even I'm like, what is happening? How did they get here? Why are they here? How's everyone showing up? How does Agumon go from the bottom of the sea to the beach, interrogate the birds, then get all the way out here, which requires a boat, apparently, in the space of like an hour?
I don't know, like, I feel like Agumon knows some things. Like, he gives some pretty, like, hella advice. So maybe he's just good.
His advice is pretty basic level, actually.
I kind of love him. Please do not bad talk my child.
I think I will.
Please don't. What do you rate this episode?
Like do I guess I'm think
It's definitely the best one we've had.
is it like a 7 then? I don't want to give it it's a 6.
I gave it a 7.
6.5. I'm giving it a 6.5.
I gave it a 7 because, like...
It doesn't deserve a 7. It's too plot convenient.
I know it was very plot convenient, but not much more than the other episodes. If we're rating it on the scale of Frontier...
It's hard to say.
Look, compared to the other episodes, it's a 10.
I think if you run down the list of what it took to get Tommy to his beast spirit, I think that list of things takes points away.
But I thought it was fun. I thought the background characters were fun. I thought the way that he got it by playing a game was very unique to him, because we've already seen that he likes playing video games. And the fact there was a personality in the Digimon that he was talking to, and the fact he sort of had, like, I don't know, he got along with it in a way, and that whole
it was unique.
That whole exchange where he sort of touches him on the face and goes, Elliot, which may or may not be a reference to E.T., I'm not sure if they intended that, but it just seemed like it to be. And I really like that part, how he says, you know, honesty is the best policy. And I found that cute. So, yeah, I know, I'm sticking with a 7, if not higher. I really like this episode. I thought that it had less problems. Izumi even had a character. She was useful. This is the most useful thing she's done.
Her character was a stomach.
I know that it is complete plot convenience to get the tickets that we need to travel, but I feel like...
She's been more useful.
She couldn't do that as a lamp, though.
No, but she was been more useful. She gave that cool speech to the Gomamon.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that this is one of the few useful things that she's ever done.
But the problem with this being one of the few useful things she's ever done...
She got the egg.
Yeah, but this being one of the more useful things she's ever done is that it's actually pointless because the tickets are a new thing that only just existed in this episode.
It's weird that Junpei didn't win.
No, but, like, it's too obvious for the fat guy to win the eating contest.
I like that the skinny girl won it because
That's a classic. That's just a joke.
I know, but I liked it. How'd you think about this episode to what you predicted in Obnoxious Synopsis?
I knew that Chuckman would get his beast evolution and that go to Akiba markets, and that was the end of it. Like, I didn't say much, honestly, because it's hard to really tell what was being said, really. It's funny, because he didn't actually call any glaciers. Did you notice?
I feel like that's just his attack. Like, he calls the glaciers in his attack.
It was avalanche axes.
No, but his other attack, I believe, had something to do with glaciers. I can't remember. I feel like it's probably a reference to something.
That's the Japanese. It might not. It might just be a cool sounding thing. Blow the snow. He did not do that.
He goes. You thought it would be a bad episode though, but
look,
to be fair,
I think
you said
all
that for
of them
everything.
are bad, and you know what? It is.
Yeah, but you said a 5.
It's the best of the bad episodes.
Oh yes, it's definitely the best of the worst so far. I enjoyed it. What was the major difference that you noticed?
I don't know. It's named Yukaku. For me, it is actually, and I know it's really subtle, so maybe it doesn't really count as the biggest difference, but I think that when Nanamon was asking about what is upsetting, his name is Tommy, yeah.
Yeah.
In one version, he asks, like, what are you crying about? In the other version, he goes, wait, what did you mean by that when you said that yours... Because that establishes, him being...
Honest.
Not just honest, but selfless.
Yeah.
And, like, noble in a way,
also,
initially.
You wouldn't, if you were just trying to scam someone, you wouldn't say that. So it's the first sort of thing saying, maybe he's telling the truth. I also thought that. I also thought the fact that Nanamon is trying to detect which one the spirit belongs to, or which one it doesn't have the spirit that he's putting in. And in the dub, it was just being, I'm going to fix this for the next one. This one's broken. I found that was a weird addition. I also preferred Arbamon in the original version. I'm not sure why they changed it from his ding dong.
I was going to say, I'm going to take your slot and say, like, oh yeah, the non sequiturs that Arbamon said.
And
that's bigger.
I mean, maybe it's because it's not as funny to Western children as it is to Japanese children, maybe?
Have you ever watched Seinfeld?
No.
Okay, so basically, in Seinfeld there are 4 characters, but imagine, and one of them's a bit of a wacky character who says funny stuff. But imagine if he walks through the door, and everyone cheers, and he's like, don't forget to brush your teeth today! That's not funny in English, I don't think.
Yeah.
I generally don't think that's that
Or close your windows when you go to sleep at night.
And just everyone would stare at him and go, like, what? I think it only works because it's a cartoon. It could work in a Western cartoon.
Not with the characters they've given Arbamon in the dub, though. They've given him this gangster one, and it would just be too,
You need a different voice.
Because there's bizarre, and then there's just no, that just doesn't fit. Yeah. In the original, they do it fine, but, I'm not a great tell on what the Japanese voice is going to accomplish. I'm not sure if that's meant to be anything, because again, like, my Japanese is terrible, and I definitely can't differentiate between different voices or accents.
Alright, let's go into this next train episode.
So you don't have any more differences?
I mean, it wasn't a lot.
Yeah, but I find the big one was the fact that he lies in the dub. He's like, I'm fixing it for the next owner. Which maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's meant to be a lie.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been lying at the time. Maybe he just thought that's what he was doing.
Jay, do you remember that episode, the movie of Digimon Tamers where there were trains? Or there was a train, and it was about the train, and the train was going very, very, very fast?
I choose to forget it.
You choose?
No.
What if we decided to just have an episode about trains? Wouldn't that be good?
Every episode's about trains. This is Frontier.
Yeah, well, these are even more train, so it's better value because you get more train for the same amount of watch time.
I don't want that.
So the kids are on the Trailmon, and in the dub, Takuya's commenting on how the scenery is boring and not like at home. And I was like, of course it's not at home, you're in a Digimon computer digital world. And of course, in the original, there's just silence.
Wouldn't it be funny if this was the moment they go, this doesn't look like Okinawa?
Maybe we're not actually in the real world.
Hey, remember when they took that elevator, like,
to hell?
1,000 stories down, and now we're outside? What's up with that? Are we in Australia?
Why are there all these monsters? We're in Australia. Right. Now it makes sense. What if the digital world is just Australia?
The Australian frontier. Hey, we don't know what goes on in the centre of Australia. As far as we know, Australia's a donut where the cities are on the outside. The inside's a mystery.
Like, does Uluru even exist?
Probably.
What's a kangaroo? Do they exist?
They're pests. If you go to Canberra, you can see them everywhere.
If you go...
Sorry. I need to press like an American. Canberra.
If you go to Mitch's house, you can see a kangaroo.
I didn't see any there when I went.
That's because you were asleep. There were kangaroos in the morning.
I want to see kangaroos now.
But my phone was dead.
They're the best rodents ever. They're massive.
And also the internet was so bad up there. Like,
Yeah,
oh my god.
yeah.
Why would anyone... Like, it's already in Australia, so the internet's already bad. Anyway, besides talking about Australia, let's talk about Digimon, which may or may not be set in Australia. So, the kids are talking to their bee spirits, which I found super cute. Tomoki says that he's never felt so alive, which, I'm just going to put it out here, this is pretty dark, actually, that he says that. In the dub, he's just saying how there's nothing that he and Korikakumon can't accomplish now they're together. Bokumon's rubbing his egg. It's adorable.
And he goes, good egg. What a good egg. So I was like, what are you doing? It's like, it likes being told it's good. Good.
Junpei wonders why everyone's talking to their bee spirits, and Bokumon asks why he's not. And Junpei says he doesn't want to do something so childish. Bokumon says it looks like fun. In the dub, JP asks if everyone's gone nuts, and Bokumon tells him not to knock it till he tries it. JP calls Bokumon Mr. Bouncy Wouncy, and Bokumon says he likes it when they bounce. Talking about the egg.
The egg likes bouncing.
Then Ebi Bergamon comes up, and I love him.
I just have, what is this adorable stewardess-mon?
So, I know we won't be watching the next episode for 2 weeks, but it's like Ebi Bergamon, and basically the next episode, so episode 19. You remember that fast food chain we went to?
Yes,
Lotteria?
Yeah.
Yep, so they did that. Lotteria, I'm pretty sure, sponsored it, because the next episode takes place basically in a Digi-Lotteria, and there is a Digimon that hangs out with Ebi Bergamon, which is a menu item from Lotteria, which is kind of like these chicken nuggety things. And so, yeah, so this is the Lotteriamon.
I also want to mention that, like, because we have been on trains in Japan, I got to feel the, like, I know that thing! When, like, they walk through and they offer stuff to people. Like in an airline, but on a train instead.
I also really like Ebi Bergamon. Also, that means shrimp, by the way. He is a shrimp burger.
Fair enough.
He asks if they want a breakfast set. In the dub, he's selling chocolate and cupcakes.
Okay, fair enough.
Which, I mean, that's a fine sort of change, because in Western, usually, like, you get snacks, like, you get chocolates and chips and stuff.
Also, it's a younger audience.
Yeah, but in Japan, yes, they still sell chips and stuff, but primarily they will sell bento boxes. So if it's in the morning, they'll give you a breakfast set, and for lunch they'll give you a lunch set. So I find that as a fine change, because it makes more sense to the Western audience, because that's what kids would know if they're on a long train ride. They go around passing out snacks. Izumi's hungry but doesn't have money. What?
How is Izumi hungry?
I think she's a bottomless pit.
She just ate 30 or more plates of curry rice, And if this train... Even if this train took a day, she has 30 meals inside her.
Yeah, like, if you have a big lunch, you probably don't feel like dinner.
Pretty much.
Like, I've had a big dinner before, and I've woken up the next day, I'm like, I'm still full.
This is how I die.
This is how I die. So I feel like she's one of those people with those crazy fast metabolism that basically, like, you know, bam, and the dirt is gone. It's just, she just digests everything because metabolism.
It's not how it works.
Yeah.
There's still physical, like, there's stuff there.
Bokumon is happy because his egg moved, and I love Bokumon so much. I love his egg. I love the fact that he calls himself a mama, and that he's being a maternal role, and I really like that. And I'm actually happy that they haven't forced Izumi to be the mother because she's the woman.
I feel like, you know what, I feel like they were going to do that, and they're like, no, we have to give it to the Digimon.
Yeah.
You know, what is it? If the egg's moving, doesn't that mean it's going to be hatching really soon?
In Pokemon it does.
No, but I mean, like, if you think how an egg works, right? And the thing inside gets strong enough to break out of it, if you start to feel it moving, it is almost fully formed now.
Takuya in the dub says that Bokumon is starting to freak him out with all the egg talk. It's like, you know, he's being a fine mother. Just leave him alone, Takuya. The Trailmon arrives, and the Trailmon's rather curt, and that's just something I noticed. It's like, get out.
No, but you don't understand.
Buffalo!
No, it's a trail festival today. Do your best, Buffalo! I don't understand any of that.
In the dub, instead of saying Buffalo, he says, I'm gonna win.
Question.
Yes?
Is he in the race?
Yeah, he's the Shadowway Garurumon one. You know the one called Buffalo?
No.
Well, he's the one called Buffalo. That's why he says Buffalo.
I totally didn't connect the dots there.
We get lots of cute shots of Digimon, including a Phantomon eating bread. And there's a Phantomon eating bread. And guys, did you know there's a Phantomon eating bread?
Vote for the one with the mouth that you can't see.
Shut up,
it's
shut
so
up,
cute.
little teeth.
It's way better.
And then there's a Deramon and a Gekomon watching him, and they look so happy with watching him eat. And it's like, me too, Deramon.
Skull.
He's eating bread, and it makes me so happy. I'm just... It's the best scene in the whole of Digimon ever. I love him so much.
Let's not talk about eating bread.
I'm so hungry.
I know, me too.
Maybe that's because he's Phantomon? Phantomon? Pan means bread. Pan.
You got me with just like, pan means bread.
He's Phantomon, so you didn't appreciate
I got it. I was sandbagging you.
Yeah, it was my Phantomon.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Get it? Pun?
No,
as in joke?
Yeah, I understood the whole thing.
Izumi's hungry, and she's always hungry, and now she's my favourite character because she's also like me, because I am always hungry.
You know that being always hungry is not a character trait,
Oh, it is now. It's my character trait. So
you're like Goku then.
So to be fair, like, I feel like I'm hungry in the same way that Goku's always hungry. Like, Izumi's hungry because she has a crazy high metabolism, but I feel like myself and Goku relate to each other because we're just basically like, you know, super, like, fit and boundless energy, and that's why hungry all the time. I'm so hungry all the time. In the dub, she just says that she's really super starving, so it's the same thing. Then we see it's a Trailmon race, and there's an Outlet-Kabuterimon just chilling.
It was a real Trailmon race.
No, I'm just mad because there's an Outlet-Kabuterimon standing next to Takuya, and Outlet-Kabuterimon's... I'm just so mad I forgot how to talk. So, Outlet-Kabuterimon's about a foot taller than... maybe, like, less than a foot taller than Takuya.
But man,
and Takuya is a 10-year-old Japanese boy, so probably, like, I don't know why I'm working in feet inches. He's probably, like, 120 centimeters or something. So I'd say...
because no one knows what centimeters translate into.
So I'd say, well, maybe, like, I don't know, I'm going to estimate in feet,
4
4 foot.
feet.
4 foot? Is that big? If is a human child 4 foot, that's 4 foot longs, right?
That's a foot and a bit less than you.
Yeah, like a foot and a half less than me.
So it's like there.
Yeah, no, so like that's approximate child height, right? I don't know. Children
for
are...
a 10-year-old.
So
maybe?
I feel like Outlet-Kabuterimon is shorter than me, and considering the way we saw him at Adventure.
But mate, it's very simple. Digimon change sizes.
Yeah, Outlet-Kabuterimon changes size more than any other Digimon I've ever seen in my life.
But also, like, they just come in a variety of sizes. We know that because...
Except for Koshiro's Outlet-Kabuterimon, which we've seen have, like, a few different sizes in his lifetime.
Yeah. Sometimes it's big as a building. Sometimes it's just pretty large.
Sometimes it's big as a planet.
Hercules Kabuterimon is just kind of chunky. Like, it carries other dudes around it, but they surround him.
Then a Nohemon, which is another armored Digimon, says that it's a yearly race. In the dub, he says it's a dangerous business. And Izumi asks what the prize is. And then he begins to answer and says hamburger, and Izumi interrupts him and cuts him off, and runs off and says that she'll be the Trailmon's partner who just had their partners abandoned. And because the Trailmon was wandering. In the dub, he just says the prize is a cheeseburger, and then there's kind of like a break, so there's no... Izumi's not cutting him off in the dub. And I don't know why they changed this, because the prize is not a cheeseburger, so it's the Nohemon getting it wrong rather than the Zoe cutting him off.
Or it could be bad sound editing.
No, I feel like, no, he says a cheeseburger instead of hamburger cut off. Instead of a lot of hamburger tickets, it's...
Oh yeah, the hamburger line. You know.
Shut up. A black Wegurumon jumps out at her and says that he'll ride instead. Then there's a Dogmon there too. In the dub, the Wegurumon black is called Shadow Wegurumon, and this is something I noticed. So Dogmon is called Dogimon, but only in the analyzer. He's called Dogmon in the audio. So Wegurumon black says that he'll win again this year. In the dub, Shadow Wegurumon tells Dogimon to let him handle this. And it's just really weird that the audio says his name's Dogmon in the dub, and the analyzer says Dogimon. I don't even know why they said Dogimon. I don't think they ever say Dogimon.
Dogimons.
Ooh! I'm so happy you said that, because I was going to if you didn't. The Trailmon says that a human driver could never win, and Izumi says, well, you're just rude. In the dub, he says that he'll be with Shadow Wegurumon again because a human would never win.
Yeah, people are a bit racist. Big old races. 2
more Trailmon partners leave after learning Blackwall Greymon is entering. Izumi says that she'll take one of their place, and then the other kids participate too.
Sorry, choo-choo, the fierce Trailmon racist.
Well, they are racist against humans.
Yeah. Oh, I just want to skip all this stuff and talk about the race, talk about the really brief points, and then leave. Because this episode's like, it's just one really long action scene.
Well, no, I had a few bits before the race,
yeah,
so
but they're not that interesting.
I found that Koji's interactions with his Trailmon were quite cute. So he says, a human, huh? And Koji's like, so what? And he says, I guess I'm fine with it. In the dub, he just says, yeah, whatever, come on. Bokumon says a race would be bad for the baby when Neomon says, why aren't you racing?
Cute.
In the dub, he says that he can't because he's with Egg. As in, but I'm with Child.
Oh, that's dumb.
It's cute. Also, the race is sponsored by DigiLube. Thanks.
I mean, that's fine.
I don't know anything about cars or trains or anything, but
You do know a little bit about the human body.
Yeah. Phantomon is the ref, and
You mean Angemon?
So I noticed that I made a note to say Jay will not be happy because a colour change meant a new name, but Jay didn't actually notice that it had a new name.
I thought it was Angemon!
He's got different pants now. He's wearing purple and he doesn't have a cross on his face.
That's Angemon.
Oh no, it's Angemon.
We're not related, we just look alike.
I forgot he had a different name too, and I was kind of like, okay, so he has a different name. So his name is Phantomon, and he wears purple, so he's a shiny Angemon. Naomon is asleep, and then his Trailmon, who's called Kettle, retires too, because he also wants to sleep.
So I thought it was like, okay, he's asleep so he can't start the train. But also, I was also kind of convinced, because I immediately saw the connection, the similarity between this and the 3D special we saw. Where
I made the note too. It was very much like that in the way that we even had the Devimon character.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there like, is Naomon gonna win? He's somehow... Because he'll have the fastest train that when he, actually wakes up, it'll just zoom and win.
I think I would have preferred that.
Yeah, I think so too, because at the end of the day, it was the main character won.
So, of course, we're referring to the short that we covered in our Japanese special that we covered in Japan. It was just this, quick little short that we watched and did, a live-ish review. And it was really cute. And I'll link our episode in the description because I feel like that's probably one of my favourite episodes we've ever recorded because we were in Japan.
I don't remember it.
It was the one we recorded in Japan.
No, I remember that part. I don't remember anything we said that was great.
Oh no, you enjoyed it. Everyone said how nice it was to hear you enjoying Digimon so genuinely.
Because it was one of the first times.
No,
God, Digimon sucks.
We were halfway through Tamers at the point, so we
had. Were we?
Yeah, we just the last thing we watched was the Tamers movie.
Huh.
So you just started enjoying Digimon, so it was still kind of fresh.
Fresh.
So I feel like that's one of our best episodes we've done. Anyway, it did remind me a lot of that. Junpei is leading in the race, but Blackwall Garurumon overtakes him.
Blackwall Greymon.
I wrote that Blackwall Greymon a few times. So he overtakes, so Junpei evolves to power him up, and he says, I'm evolving for Izumi. In the dub, he explains after the Trailmon asks him why he had to evolve. He says, it's all about being cool and smooth. Then he falls over, and the Trailmon says, cool and smooth, huh? This part was funny.
My question was, why did he have to evolve? And there is no real answer.
He says for Izumi. He says it's for Izumi.
What does that mean?
To look cool for Izumi. He wants to impress Izumi.
I really thought it was that, like, he thought it might make him go faster.
Yeah, but he's heavier. When he evolved, I forgot what happened in this episode. I'm like, does he, like, use his electric powers to, like, speed up the train?
No, he just falls over like a dope.
No, of course not. It's a funny moment. So a Ramon jumps in the way and farts and slows down the train somehow.
It farts him to death.
Then the mole Trailmon's tired and he's starting to give up. In the dub, he just says he doesn't like hills. And in the dub, this is where I noticed that, oh golly, all the Trailmon in the dub have the same voice.
Yeah.
In the original, they're different, but in the dub, they're all the same voice actor, so I've got to commend that guy.
This is where I wrote, hey, Wegurumon is just Devimon, isn't he?
Yep,
Yeah.
from that short. A bridge breaks, and Koji's Trailmon is somehow able to jump over it, which, okay, Trailmon can jump now, despite not having legs.
White Trailmon can't jump.
Tomoki and Izumi evolve, and Chuckmon creates ice for the bridge, but Izumi's Trailmon falls. And in the dub, her Trailmon says, "Goodbye, cruel world!"
That's really dark.
So dark. Then, Izumi flies down to save her Trailmon.
Everyone just catches it.
And then she says, "Hey, you're really heavy. Have you ever heard of a diet?"
You can't make weight jokes right after you just save someone's life.
And also ate a lot. So obviously a diet may not be the only thing.
Oh my god, it would have been so funny if she ate all those food
and
then,
made
like,
it heavier.
at the end, like, and then she transforms into Fairymon. Fairymon's fat.
Oh,
She's like, I shouldn't have eaten
that
all
would
those,
that would have
all
been
that
awful.
curry.
No, that would have been awful.
It would have been really funny.
The Trailmon says that she's actually at her ideal weight. In the dub, it's sort of the same, except Kazemon says the Trailmon is on the heavy side instead of just saying you should diet. And the mole still replies, I'm at my ideal weight. Tomoki's Trailmon says that they're a great team, even though they didn't win. And Kazemon de-evolves and throws a tantrum and says she doesn't want to race anymore for no reason.
You know what doesn't make any sense?
What?
If she can lift the train, why not? And the only reason the train can't go is because it's not on the track.
Why not just lift
the train
to
the
the finish? What about to the finish line?
I don't think she has that much endurance.
I feel like she should be able to.
Why make you think that?
I'm sorry, Shutamon could.
Yeah, that's probably true.
How come the only one who considered Beast Spirit evolving to win was Takuya? I know...
And also very late.
Kendo Garurumon showed up, but only to save his friends, not to, win. Okay, why didn't Koji just say, Beast Spirit evolved, Kendo Garurumon, I am a train now, Heelys, or just, push the Trailmon? I don't know, I feel like...
Yes, those are all valid questions that the show hopes you don't think of.
Yeah... I know. In the dub, Pyromon comments about how Zoe is also throwing a major hissy. Like, the Trailmon mole retires, and also the partner is throwing a major hissy.
We also didn't mention that when Raymon farts Junpei to death, his train goes, it sounds like this, I'm glad I don't have a nose.
Oh, that's adorable, I missed that. That's hilarious. Takuya's Trailmon is getting headbutted by the Buffalo Trailmon. Takuya asks why they're on the same track, which is a very good point.
Well, there's only one track around that area. I assumed that they just combined. But at that point, with trains, there's no race anymore.
Yeah.
At
they're
that
just
point,
on the
it
same
becomes
track.
a death thing. Like, you have to kill the people in front of you, or you cannot win.
Then Takuya falls off the cliff, and Chakamon saves him, and immediately lets go, so Takuya can evolve. So I don't know why Chakamon was needed, because we've seen them fall and evolve from falling before.
But you know what it looked like happened?
Chakamon grabbed him and said, nah, throws.
Yeah, because it falls open and just kills him.
Oh no, that's pretty much what it looks like. And he's smiling the whole time.
Then you cut to Duck Hunt Dog, who's like...
Yeah.
He's just Duck Hunt Dog.
Oh no, he's Muttley. Let's be real.
No, but Muttley's like purple. When he's this color and he's doing this action, that's Duck Hunt.
But he's going.
Yeah, Duck Hunt Dog does that.
Oh yeah, he does. But it's
goes,
it's a reference to Muttley. In
No,
Wacky
I know,
Races.
but when it's this color, now he's Duck Hunt.
Agunimon and Black Wergarumon start fighting. Koji Spirits evolves too and jumps off his Trailmon.
Evolutions in this
Oh,
episode.
it's very evolution heavy, especially in the dub. Is what I've noticed that they did is because they're in a split evolutions and they couldn't pad them out and they still wanted to pad out the evolutions. Instead of giving them shorter versions, which the original did, they cut out the shorter versions and replaced them with the full length evolution, like full evolutions that we only see very rarely.
Yay.
So when Koji shows up and evolves, the Trailmon asks, "Hey, where are you going?" In the dub, his Trailmon's rather chill and it's like, oh yeah.
As if he needs a driver.
Because I'm pretty sure they don't.
They clearly don't.
Agumon tells Wolfmon to let him do it himself or else he won't be satisfied. In the dub, he checks to see if Lobamon's okay, and then wonders how Wolf Boy will handle this one, and then attacks him. Then Lobamon notices that Dogimon is
chewing their brakes.
Chewing the Trailmon's brakes, and the Trailmon is very nervous. In the dub, the Trailmon's pretty laid back and chill and just chatting while it's about to fall off the cliff. And I think this is the best part in the dub.
Does it bother you that we don't seem to be slowing down at all? This should be working! Probably would be if we weren't heading downhill. Yeah, this would be the hill right here. So, where you from? Cliffs in your world as high as they are here. We got some doozies here. Oh, cold hands!
And then he falls off the cliff.
More or less like this.
Chakamon saves the Trailmon, but they all end up falling anyway. And then the German train says goodbye in German. Auf Wiedersehen! It's really funny. And Garurumon catches everyone. Koji's Trailmon apologizes for making fun of him for being human. In the dub, he just thanks him for saving his life, but again, he's kind of chill instead of just kind of apathetic and a bit rude, really, in the original.
Another win for human and Digimon race relations.
The great Trailmon race relations? Only Takuya and Black Garurumon are still in the race. Dogimon throws bombs at Takuya. Then we see some Petite Merrymon, who are the best, and I love them. And they light some oil on fire because...
The oil that was leaking out of his train. Because they blew up the track so it couldn't move.
Also, interesting fact, in the original they say it's a mine, and in the dub they don't give a reason of what it was. Like, it used to be a mine, and that's why they have all the mine kart race things, so they use that for the tracks. Buffalo comes out of the cave, and a Gunimon slide evolves, and Takuya character song plays, which is a really cool character song. It's called Salamander. It's a really good song. And obviously, in the dub, there's no character song, which I feel lessens the impact of, like, how dramatic this scene is. The Trailmon with Virtualmon pulling it, like, launches through, and it launches Buffalo Trailmon off the path, and he ends up winning.
Well, that's weird, though, because I've written down, like, wait, how does he win if there's one track and he's still behind him? But he doesn't really blow him off the path, because he's never on the track at all.
He just kind of, he flies.
He's surfing through the rock.
That's why I said I feel like they could have just flown.
Yeah, they could have.
Right, Kendo Garurumon, probably strong enough, literally catches the Trailmon on his back, probably could have just done the whole thing just flying, right?
So the main character wins, and it's so predictable that other shows don't do this anymore. Like, that's what the special we watched was all about, was, oh,
they all won.
You didn't expect this ending, did you? This was, if you asked a 7-year-old who liked this show what they thought would happen, they would say, of course the main character wins.
Trailmon says it's too bad that Takuya's a human. Then at the end, Izumi asks Phantomon about the hamburgers, and Phantomon says that the prize is an invitation to Hamburger Digimon Village. Ebby Bergamon shows up, and he's really cute, and he's adorable.
They're my favourite.
Izumi seems hungry and disappointed, and they laugh because her tummy's rumbling, and she says she's a growing girl. What do you think of this episode as someone who is new to Digimon?
Oh my god, it's such a waste of time.
Yeah,
like,
it's filler, but I feel like it's not boring filler.
It's got a bit of charm to it, but honestly, I hate that Digimon has set up all these rules and then never, ever, ever writes around them. It's always like, yeah, they can become way more powerful with these extra evolution level, but they just won't do it because it would be plot convenient for them not to be that strong. If you give them beast spirits to be stronger, then they should use them. That was one thing that Grottomon did, was he always went to Gigasmon when he needed to.
I know that was purely just to show us, look at this new mechanic, look how they can slide evolve, but I feel like it was done in a way that it not only did it show you that it was a new mechanic, he always used it to his advantage. Like, oh, it's better that I'm Grottomon now, because I have to have a huge hammer and pop places. Oh, I just need to punch things really hard. I'm going to be Gigasmon now. It showed you that there was an, advantage from being, one or the other. And we saw that in the Virtualmon episode as well, in part 2. When he says, oh, I have to be a Gunimon now, because I'm faster, and because I can't just set everything on fire. And then he becomes a Gunimon, and then he slide evolutions. Like, that's why it should be used. And I feel like they don't use it in this episode. I feel like if Borgmon showed up, I'm pretty sure he could have just I don't know, electrocuted the Trailmon to just zip him through to the finish line. Because I don't
beat that Ramon.
Or beat that Ramon, or do anything besides fall over and be a comedic moment, right?
Yes.
How do you rate this episode?
5.
I gave it a 6. I didn't hate it. I thought it was enjoyable.
I don't know. I'm just so neutral on it.
Yeah, so that's a good 5 then. That's yeah.
It's a decent 5.
What about how you thought about this episode compared to your predictions in Obnoxious Synopsis?
The only thing that matters about my prediction was that I said it could be just an actual race, but they would never do that. It'll be this thing instead. And I try to get all clever with it. But I shouldn't. It's Frontier. There's nothing clever about Frontier.
Though you were worried it would be super boring. Like, that's what you said would annoy you. But
Yeah.
I don't think it was boring.
No, it wasn't boring.
It did have a lot of evolutions, but I feel like they were spread out in the way it didn't feel like they were just filling time with evolutions. But I feel like some of the evolutions weren't as needed as others. Sure, Fairymon, fine, she actually does something. Beetlemon, no reason to be there.
I actually did feel like they were filling time with evolutions, but at the same time...
Not as much as we've seen before.
Well, because there was a split one.
Yeah.
At the same time, yeah.
But no, this episode was definitely filler, but I feel like this is the first filler we've had in this arc. And we've only had a few filler episodes so far.
Yeah.
So I remember when we were first jumping into Frontier and I said, what do you think the filler percentage is? And I may as well tell you now. My guess is it'll be mostly not filler.
Well, it seems that way at the moment.
Yeah. But that was just from my memory, so I could be completely wrong because you said it'd be mostly filler. And I said...
I thought it would be.
From memory, it's less filler than other seasons. And what was the major difference between the Japanese and the English version?
I've only really thought of, like, really individual lines, honestly. Like, the Fairymon fat... like...
The fat joke was in both.
No, not fat joke, sorry. When the Angemon, who's not an Angemon, but is to me...
saying
was
about
like,
the hissy, yeah.
Yeah, you threw a hissy, that sort of thing. It's like, I don't know. I didn't pick anything major out.
Because there wasn't that much talking, so there couldn't be much to change. The annoying bits about how they keep on padding out the evolutions to make them longer, to fill time.
I never noticed that stuff.
I always notice it because it
I
annoys
skip
me.
them. I just skip over evolutions because they're boring and waste of time.
Now we have all of the children's bee spirits. Who has the best bee spirit evolution design? Because I still like Shutamon. I mean, I know that it's still a lingerie fairy, and it's not a beast by the definition, but as a design, I kind of like the design. I like the wings coming out of the hair.
I think it's Waldomon. Cool.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's the most obvious. Like, this one turns into this one.
Yeah.
And also, it looks good. They're always pretty good with the bug evolutions. They're pretty strong.
Yeah. Well, that's to be fair. Like, you just make a bigger, uglier bug.
Yeah.
You just add more
bits
things.
to it.
Who do you think would be the strongest? Like, who do you think is the strongest?
Well, the strongest one is Takuya's one. He's the main character. He's red.
Who had the best discovery? Because I think Tomoki had. I feel like he had the best ever.
No, I'm not letting you have it after we talked about it today.
Okay, it was plot convenient, but I feel like... I guess Takuya's was alright. Like, how it literally shocked me that a Digimon had the Beast Spirit before he did.
I preferred Koji's. Because with Koji...
It was a puzzle.
Not only that, you had the other character who's like, I'm gonna get a Beast Spirit. That's my thing.
Yeah.
And he stole it from that kid.
I like how this was the only one that seemed... Well, Koji's one and Tomoki's Beast Spirit both had the thing in common, which was they both had a challenge to get the Beast Spirit.
Sort of?
One had a puzzle, the other had a game. And it's pretty weird, but I kind of liked it. But I see what you mean about that. I think I still like Takuya's because it literally threw me off, and I forgot that Shamanmon evolved to Virtualmon before Agunimon did.
It's okay, but that's not a discovery. Someone else discovered it. He was in a cabinet.
I'm sorry. Koji's one, someone else discovered it. Gotsumon knew where it was. He solved the puzzle.
It was more interesting. It was more interesting because he stole it from in front of the Gotsumon.
Actually, the only chosen child who found their Beast Spirit by themselves was Izumi. Takuya's Shamanmon found it. Right, yeah. Koji Gotsumon found it.
I see it.
Junpei...
Oh, you don't need to listen. I heard.
I'm listening for the listeners.
Fair enough.
Junpei Wamon found it. And Tomoki Nanamon had the game. So the only one who actually went down and said, "Oh, it's my Beast Spirit," was Izumi.
Yeah, but let's be honest. For reals, that was the most disgusting plot convenience. We just happened to be fighting on top of this.
Gomon did also help, though. They said, hey, there's these whirlpools.
You go over there.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. Speaking of Izumi, people say that her biggest character moments were in her Beast Spirit Evolution episodes. But I actually think that these 2 episodes had some pretty good character moments.
Her character moments of I like food?
No, not just that. So she gets the tickets in episode 17, and it's her idea to enter the contest. And that's why episode 18 progresses, and why they get the tickets to go towards the Morning Star. In episode 18, she's the reason why all the humans enter.
In both of those circumstances, she's motivated by food.
Yes, she's motivated by food, and this is a new character thing.
You know what her character is? My dog Miller.
Oh my god, she is! But to be fair, I love Miller.
If you tell Miller there's food involved, she'll do anything.
She's like, I will rob a bank.
I'll rob a bank if there's a cheese stick.
Dude, even if there's like a string of cheese, Miller would do it. She's such a good dog. So yeah, happy International Women's Day. Have some okay Izumi moments. The screenshot of the week this week, it's Phantomon eating with his mouth open, by the way.
No,
Jay and Jeff.
Close.
Jay and Jeff are wrong. It's open, and that's why it's a weekly poll. I know people probably say that's a really random weekly poll to have, and no, it was originally going to be which Trailmon's the best. By the way, it's no contest. The Nemon Trailmon's the best. Also, real talk, it's more important about the opening or closing them of the mouth.
Our shit name would just be Jafe.
Yeah. Jafe. And yeah, that was my screenshot of the week. Mouth open, BT dubs.
Mine is surprised Borgmon.
You mean Blitzmon?
Yeah.
Brrr.
With his giant eyes.
You know what I feel the sound effect is? It should be an interrobang.
Interrobang doesn't make a noise.
I feel like if it made a noise, it'd be the brrr. It's like a...
Oh, I did put an interrobang in my book.
That was Mitch's Homestuck fan troll symbol.
Oh, what a dog.
I made a fan troll for him. I'm not sure if you ever saw that, the fan troll I made for Mitch.
No, I never did.
He was a purple blood.
Okay.
Yeah. The Digimon introduced these episodes. Blizzamon, what you think?
It looks fine, honestly. It's surprisingly okay.
He's fluffy. He's shaped like a friend.
Yeah. He looks like he should have been from O2. That's the kind of design he has.
Yeah, no, I see that.
It's like slightly more complicated than what you'd get from Adventure, where you get like your I'm a Yeti man, and then they sort of expand it out from that with a bit more complexity later.
What about Shadowway Garurumon? That's a new design, right?
Nope.
What about Pidomon? That's a new design, right?
Nope.
I mean, I noticed that he doesn't have the cross on his face.
Nope, they're the same design.
Same, but different, right?
There was a guy in my sister's year at school who wore a shirt that said that when they were like quite popular.
Yeah.
But he was the only one who ever wore it, and it was cool because his surname was same.
That's amazing. No, I like that.
So, Postmon Pat, that's where we're at. We had a weekly poll, and we have comments from it. Chuckmon says that, what's the question exactly? It was whose...
So, whose bathers are the best?
Whose bathers
Which,
are the best?
by the way, the outcome wasn't as big as the previous weeks, but because
I didn't vote this week.
I voted, but you read the results and I'll just get
So
the thing
Chuckmon
up.
says that, it says, Koji, funny how everybody chose the colour in their bathers. Junpei isn't the best because of the generalization of fat people, and his portrayal in beachwear is offensive. Aw. Ali says, Junpei, they showed his body and looked hot.
I think he looked pretty good.
He's like a 12-year-old. Smile Wolfie says Koji because his shorts are better than Takuya's and Tomoki's. Junpei's outfit is clearly just so they don't have to draw fat people, which is lame.
And so the results were that we only had 10 votes. So for last place, Takuya and Tomoki have 1 vote each. Koji is in second last place, or second in general, with 3 votes. And Junpei won with 5 votes.
Yay.
I like
On
Junpei.
Twitter we have Dak and Jackster saying something.
Hang on, no, this was a new one, so I didn't actually have time to add it. So I'm just going, that's the wrong Twitter. I'm just going to search through
Big
my Twitter.
Twitters.
So Dak and Daxter said this in reply to Phantomon, with his mouth open, by the way. Said, come on, guys.
Go away.
Come on, guys. We shouldn't be loafing around. Hehe, sorry. I love Phantomon so much.
On SoundCloud we have AR Pulver. It says, regarding Try, I guess spoilers for Try in the next 30 seconds,
So, Maki never told the Digimon about memory loss, and Tailmon said it would always be a possibility. But I feel like Maki was still there, so I'm not sure, but I might be not remembering that correctly from Chapter 3. AR Pulver then says Jay's right.
Yeah.
And that his wife only saw the first 2 seasons and Try and got nothing out of the opening and thought it was boring. Then AR Pulver says regarding Atmon that there was an Eri fanboy in episode 2, so we know that she's at least been an idol for long enough to have fans.
Well, yeah, and she has that girl fan who really likes her.
Then James on SoundCloud sent us a message and said that they're a fan from early episodes but fell out because of university. And we understand that university is rough, so thank you for coming back to us. Yes.
Oh, sick.
And James says they just started again and started watching Atmon because of Jay's enjoyment.
Aww.
And a lot of people are giving Atmon a try because you say that it's not bad.
I'm the best marketing this show has.
Because
It's single-handedly survived to more than episode 5 because of us. That's almost certainly the truth.
on Reddit, Lorma96 says that they're grateful because the podcast that we did last week elaborated about how uncomfortable the last 2 episodes of Frontier that we watched are.
Every episode of Frontier is uncomfortable, let's be real.
Dak and Jaxa says that they liked Mercurymon's voice in the dub, and it suits his design, and wonders if Ranamon's voice is a reference to Blanche from Streetcar Named Desire. It's the one that says, I always rely on the kindness of strangers.
Yeah,
I've never seen that play.
It's just a Southern Belle. Like, they're not smart enough to make it a big reference to somebody. It's just, like, it's Southern Belle, gangster, knight. They're not references, they're just stereotypes.
Then Dak and Jaxa says that it seemed rather sad when Ranamon's fan club, spitefully renounced her. Then, finally, Dak and Jaxa says, after giving Zoe the spotlight after her lengthy debuff period, they really dug deep and doubled down on their bad decisions, but despite Frontier's dodgy narrative and moral construction, it's still adorable. On Tumblr, we have an Anonymon, who says that they like Shutmon basically because she's stronger, but it would be nicer if she looked like Hippogriffamon, or even if she had legs like Sylphimon. And Anonymon didn't like the reason Shutamon was in control, but the episodes did have a good premise about how the girls were useless.
I honestly feel like Shutamon was just, like, they just weren't around enough to lose control. You know, you lose control in different stuff, but we talked about that in the episode. Another Anonymon says that in Japanese, they ask if they refer to Digivices as Digivices or rather the D-scanner. They say detector.
No, in the English version they say detector.
No, they say
in the
Digivice.
original they haven't said D-scanner. I always just say D-scanner because I know that's the name. And I believe it's in the same in Tamers in the English version, how they never actually... Do they say D-power? I don't remember.
No, they never say D-power.
But that's the name.
Really?
D-power is the name of the D-arc in the English version.
Oh, they never say that.
The toy says it, though.
They never say that. We got one from Waymon, who says, if Waymon lives in the net ocean, does that mean he's actually an Atmon?
No, that says Anonymon. If Waymon lives in the net ocean...
No, that says Waymon.
Does that mean he's actually an Atmon? And if so, what does the app represent? Also, you skipped one, and...
We can always go back.
It says, another Anonymon says, if you meet the next Patreon milestone, what sort of things do you intend on purchasing? So the next one is the update of software and hardware. So straight up, like, a better microphone.
We need a better microphone.
With lap mics. Also a microphone that I can use when I record videos.
We just need a Blue Yeti.
No, actually, I was going to get a Blue Yeti when I bought this one, but I had countless people say that this one was better than the Blue Yeti.
Okay, but they're for different things. The Blue Yeti isn't directional like this one is. This one's inconvenient.
But I would also have to have lap mics on the next one, a camera for product reviews and stuff, and yeah, a microphone that I can use with my mobile, possibly, as in my iPhone, and which my friend Sasha actually can sell me one. We're still a bit far off the next Patreon milestone, though, so I'm not sure if we'll get to that stage, but we do have, the list of things that we will purchase to make this podcast better.
Totally says Waymon. I'm totally right. So, we got one from Anonymon, who says that we should cover No Mercy, the song by Living Tombstone. And it's an Overwatch fan song, and that May should play the part of May, and I should be the Widowmaker in it.
It's funny, because I've never seen anybody rage quite as hard as you. Maybe you should go back to playing Team Fortress 2. I'm not gonna be Mercy.
Yeah, basically we sing this all the time between each other because it got stuck in our head for a while.
I believe we actually sang it in a roar of one of our episodes at the start.
That's funny. We can do that, I guess, at some point.
Except neither of us can sing, unfortunately.
I'm just saying, we take PayPal donations with requests.
Yeah, if someone wants us to do it, we'll sing it, but it won't be good because I definitely can't sing, and Jay, I guess, is okay at singing.
When I sing,
angels cry.
When I sing. In my head it sounds right, but I have no idea what my voice actually sounds like out of my body.
Everyone thinks they sound fine when they sing, but I think I sound terrible when I sing, so I must be awful at singing.
You're actually just fine.
I'm terrible.
So we got one from Toterracotta, who says, or is that Torterracotta?
Torterracotta.
Torterracotta.
I'm guessing the Pokemon?
Maybe. and like terracotta. And they say listening to old adventure episodes where you were asking what's under Devimon's mask, and they figured he had Vandemon's face, but then their 7-year-old self thought that every antagonist was the same Digimon at different points in time. Oh, because they all have different... So Edamon, Devimon, and Vandemon all have the same face, just with different costumes?
And they all have, like, the same bit of their face showing, too, so
that
maybe...
would be really... And Piedmon's also like that. That would be really funny.
No.
If it's the same guy.
It's all Oikawa, actually. Oikawa was wearing masks.
Oh, Oikawa's...
It was Vandemon the entire time.
Oikawa's shame is that he got defeated all those times.
Blackwall Greymon, if you look under Blackwall Greymon's helmet, he's actually just Oikawa.
That would be such a funny gimmick for, like... I don't know, if you look at, like, The Legend of Korra, how there's always new bad guys in every season. Like, a series that takes place like that. But the bad guy shows up, and it's clearly the same bad guy in a different costume. And the good guys keep saying, like, it's just you, Oikawa. And he's like, no, it's not. I'm Piedmon. Look, I'm a jester.
On Gmail, we have an email from Kylone, who says, despite their love of Frontier and the concepts in general, one of the major flaws is clearly its treatment of female characters. And those episodes are just kind of at the worst. And... yeah, I agree. Kylan then says, Lanamon and Izumi weren't women as people in this episode. They were a male audience perception of a bad type of girl, and a good type of girl, set out to fight it out in a shallow way. And I didn't actually think of that, but that's sad.
Everything in media is a metaphor.
Then they say, how sad is that the only character shown to actually have serious trouble controlling her beast spirit is the only female on the villain team, and it's treated like a joke. And that's actually fair. We didn't see any of the other, like, evil spirits acquire their beast spirits. We didn't see them have trouble controlling. It's shown to be something that they all experience.
To be fair, we don't know if the mirror one has one yet. And also, she was shown to just get hers.
But, like, after everyone else did.
And we know that everyone who just gets them, except for Izumi, possibly...
It's not a beast.
Maybe. Can't control it. Which says something, because, I know this played off for laughs when Ranamon can't control hers, but so is everyone else, except for Takuya.
Kyle Leone says, it's also sad that the only time that Izumi can win with flying colours and can be praised is that she's pinned against the only other girl on the show.
I'm not really sure I see the connection.
No, I do. The only time I've actually seen Kazemon and Shutamon do something is fighting the other girl, not like fighting anyone else.
Tomoki's never fought a girl.
Yes, but I feel like girls are treated as automatically weaker in Frontier, so I see what they're saying, and that's kind of... yeah, that's sad. Then they say, also on Shutamon's design, it's a terrible beast spirit, but I like the design in general. It's definitely also a bad form for an 11-year-old child to take on. And I agree fully for that. I like the design. It's not good for an 11-year-old. It's not good as a quote-unquote beast spirit. Kylian then says, I feel like a more clothed Shutamon would have made a better human spirit for Izumi, and then have a bird or griffin-like beast for her beast spirit. Maybe something looks similar to Hippogriffamon. And, yeah, I think Hippogriffamon would have been closer.
On With the Will, we got one from... is that Ijifri?
I think so.
They finished 02 and Tamers.
Like, our coverage of them.
Yeah. And May's genuine love and Jay's critical and cynical mindset provide interesting insights and willpower to record and re-record despite sickness. Oh, those were the worst.
Yeah, we've been very sick and recorded podcasts before. Especially, like, what was the one where we kept on having to pause every 10 minutes because I had to die?
I don't remember. They think that Daisuke is worse than Davis. Yeah. That's amazing. When Oikawa is introduced, Jay says maybe he's an original chosen. It's a reasonable theory. But we find out it's not true. Not exactly. He can see Digimon, but he doesn't have one.
We don't know if that's... I don't know.
It's implied that it's not quite the case. And regarding Kazu, why does Gajamon stay adult? He should be able to evolve to perfect, and never ever does.
Yeah, I feel like Kazu would know that, right? He has knowledge about Digimans.
Nah. Chuckmon says that the fan sub portrayed the kids...
So, the fan sub that Chakmon had still portrayed the kids thinking that the beach food was still just okay and wasn't fantastic at all. So again, that was the poor quality fan subs that we previously were using.
But the ones we said they would look nice.
Yes, so ours are the wrong ones. That's why we upgraded to the better ones, because they kept on having things like this. So yeah,
Right.
in the version that I watched last week, they were saying, "Wow, these are really nice," but instead this and I checked back on this when I got the proper subs to see what the difference was. Yeah, they're actually saying, "Wow, these are so rubbery."
Oh, so the English was actually closer.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, the original was, like the original. Chuckmon then says they love the beach episode because everyone is so laid back, even Koji, and I like that too. Chuckmon then says that regarding if Ranamon's fan club all dropped out, information may travel faster in the digital world, which is, I believe, something that I said in the last episode about how, what if all the fan clubs dropped out because they've heard about this, and you said they can't find out that quickly.
They can't.
Chuckmon says that Frontier's biggest faults is that it lacks stakes, and the characters sometimes just literally fall into wherever they're needed, and Bokumon's book plugs any hole that's needed to be filled.
That's what I was talking about today, the whole time.
Chuckmon says that one of Toucanmon's voices in the English dub was Kazu.
He sounds really familiar.
Yeah, so, that one was Kazu, and that's kind of cute, but also, fair enough. And then, regarding Atmon, Chuckmon says that Eri's chant is adorable.
As in explosive heart punch?
No, the Doka-chan, Gashmon.
Oh, that thing was great, yeah.
Yep.
We got one more from Wildling64 who says that episodes 15 and 16 were fun and probably the most entertaining so far. I'm not sure I would necessarily agree, but we can continue. They're glad that we finally have context to Sexy Dynamite. It's weird to have fan service for an 11-year-old.
Yeah, it's been like a screenshot that everyone's always shared, but the people who have never watched the original don't actually know the context of Sexy Dynamite.
I have never seen that screenshot before.
Yeah, and the Digimon fandom likes to use that screenshot.
They saw the Toucanmon as a commentary on Idol fans, which is interesting.
That makes sense. And I guess I don't know about the idol culture, but
Neither do I.
I've heard that the male fans can be quite disgusting, as you can imagine.
Yeah. They said that the fan sub said that she, being Ranamon...
The
Izumi.
fan subs that Wildwing64 had said that she did it with determination, not fighting spirit.
I consider those to be essentially synonyms. And it was nice that Izumi was able to control her spirit, but maybe it still seems that the writers don't really care about her at all. Honestly, I can see it in the sense that, she can already control her spirit, so we don't need to give her an arc where she learns to do it. That might be what they're going for. And finally, we got one from JUQ who says, Izumi being able to...
It's Yukio.
Okay, cool. I can't pronounce things. My pronunciation is not perfect. And Izumi being able to control her B-Spirit is the only notable strength or thing about her at all in Frontier. And Izumi was their favourite character when they first watched without subtitles. They seemed to be an underdog character with the most going against her, and was just one failure after another. Alright everybody, join us for the next episode of Space Patrol Luluco, the Island of Lost Digimon.
Or Revival of the Ancient Digimon. Revival of Ornismon. Yeah.
Okay.
So, obviously, as I mentioned in Lost NewsLatelymon, there'll be no Obnoxious Synopsis next week because it's a movie. And the reason I placed it here is because, I don't know, I felt like this was the best place to put it. It clearly takes place in between the series at some point in the first, the beginning of the second quarter. And guess what? It's another one that we have to argue whether it's canon or not.
Yeah, I got the sense of that when you said, I don't know where it goes.
Yep, it's another one of those, it takes approximately place here because of events that have happened or have not happened. I can't even remember if Bokumon has an egg in this, but that
would actually be heavily weighing against when it takes place.
But it was hard to put it anywhere else before this part because of the B-spirits they have in this, so... It's just sort of like, I put it here.
So takes place sometime after this.
Or potentially before or during. It's not a canon movie. It's basically another one of those, hey, look at this pretty movie we can make, guys.
Well, if Korikakumon shows up, it can't be before this.
Korikakumon's not in this.
Oh, okay.
I think. I can't quite remember.
What, is Shootamon in it?
I can't remember. I don't think so.
Okay, so it really could have been a lot before.
Honestly, do you expect Izumi to... They have 40 minutes. Do you expect Izumi to do anything in 40 minutes?
I think if evolve once, they get punched in the face.
So, for Weekly Wonders this week, I'm going to say the Switch.
Mine's a Switch too.
Yeah, so...
Yours is Shovel Knight, mine's Breath of the Wild.
No, mine's Breath of the Wild because it was going to be Shovel Knight, but which I'm enjoying, but I got to a part in Breath of the Wild, and I'm not going to spoil anything. I mean, I'm only in the first 20 minutes, but in one of the the temples, and I found this really clever. It's a puzzle, and it like has this weird like contraption that's showing you sort of how to solve the puzzle, and you actually have to think about what it's doing, and then you have to mimic it. And so I just found it was really clever. And you're just saying Breath of the Wild too?
I also got a Switch. Now I'm gonna I already said Space Patrol Luluco earlier in the episode. You guys should watch that. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's got 13 episodes. They're 7 minutes long. You can watch that stuff in like one sitting.
Yeah, I'll watch that.
The first season is 3 episodes. It's 20 episodes, so 20 minutes long is the first season. So strong.
The link dump is linked in the description. And you can also find our screenshots of the week and our weekly wonders, also linked in the description and in our link dump. You can contact us and stay updated. You can email us at lostintranslationmon@gmail.com, or you can comment on this episode or message us on SoundCloud. You can follow us on @translationmon on Twitter, and you can find us on Lost in Translation on Tumblr, Facebook, and YouTube. We have a discussion thread on With the Will, and a Reddit thread in the Digimon subreddit, and we'd really appreciate if you were to review us on iTunes and or Stitcher. We also now have a website, and you can vote in our weekly poll, Phantomon eating, mouth open, or mouth shut. Mouth open, by the way. You can donate to our Patreon, which is it's linked in the description, and for as little as $1 per month, you can get a whole range of rewards, which are pretty cool, I think, but I also, we set them up, so...
They are fully sick, bruh!
For $1 a month, you can get access to our listener Slack group.
And you can talk to us.
Yeah, and you can chat to us, and we've been discussing pretty cool things. At the moment, we were talking about Try and theories about Maki, and how maybe Maki is Masaru from Savers, maybe.
No.
And so, yeah, that's $1 per month. But high levels gets you things like exclusive notes, information, earlier and edited episode recordings, and me not being able to speak is a thing you can have in those unedited recordings. The ability to suggest discussion topics, Skype calls with May and Jay, and more. So we'd appreciate if you even just checked it out. I don't know, it means a lot to both of us. Our next Patreon milestone will allow us to increase the quality of all our content that we provide. And thanks to our Patreon supporters, which Jay will read about.
Yes, so thank you to all of our Patreon supporters, you wonderful, nice people. Sam Krieger, who hosts a podcast called The Moncast, which talks about Pokemon and Digimon. Postmon and Digimon, almost. Stevie, who is also Stevie on YouTube, and you can find the link to their YouTube channel in the description. Wu Qinglong, who you can find at twitch.tv/Wu Qinglong. Metal Mamimon, Joe, Anime Guy, who is Anime Guy Kurosaki and the number 1 on YouTube. Chuckmon, Ishpobamba, Hiro Lado, who is at Hiro Lado on Twitter, Jason Morowski, Ryuchi, who is Frost Miragic on Archive of Our Own, Stephen Reeves, who is at WildMix64 on Twitter, Kaidawashi, Mac, Noam, Riku, Red and Garen from Breakfast with Digimon, which is another Digimon podcast which you can find on SoundCloud, Chisai, who you can follow on Tumblr at Chisai236, Corey, Kyle, the Lady Bugman, whose anime blog you can read at bagubaragu.wordpress.com, Small Wolfie, Lupin, and Tom.
You can also make a one-off donation on our PayPal, which we found linked in the description. It's paypal.me/Agumon, and make sure to listen to us for the podcast. And yeah, join us out after the outro music for more fanfic, which I know everyone's been looking forward to. So yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Here's the bookmark. The bookmark says, Chapter 6, read from the chapter.
In a bit of a rush?
I'm tired.
I know.
I'm gonna go beg to sleep.
Okay.
Also, my mouth is dry.
Yeah. Maisie and Hawkmon. I stopped myself. Chapter 6, Forest Dwellers. Maisie and Hawkmon came across a forest.
I'm hungry.
Hawkmon said.
Me too.
Maisie said.
I can smell something nice. I think it's food.
Hawkmon said.
Me too. Is that
Maisie
all I'm
said.
saying?
Hawkmon jumped into the Ave and began to fly.
Follow me. I'll find it.
Hawkmon said.
Okay.
Maisie said as she began to follow her. Soon they came across a small restaurant.
Yay, I'm starved.
Hawkmon said as she raved forward.
Wait.
Maisie said as Hawkmon turned to face her.
How do you expect to pay? Ah!
Hawkmon said.
If there's a Digital one, I'm gonna pop. We can't buy anything with no money.
Maisie said. Hawkmon nodded and frinned.
Good point.
She said.
Shall we enter anyway? Wow.
Maisie said.
Yeah.
Hawkmon replied. When they get inside, a happy-looking Floramon ran up to them.
Welcome to the Forest Dweller restaurant. My name is Flo.
She said.
How can I help you? We don't have any money. We're just looking.
Maisie said.
Oh, don't you have a detector?
Flo said.
Yeah, I do.
Maisie said, handing Flo her detector.
You have money? You have whatever that says to. You get it from. What does that say?
Scan.
From scanning Digimon. You brat. You beat. You get it from scanning Digimon, you beat.
Flov said.
Really cool.
Maisie said. Flo headed them both a menu.
I'll have the jacket potato, please.
Maisie said. Flo slowly wrote it down on the pad and faced Hawkmon.
I'll have the birdseed pizza, thank you.
Hawkmon said happily. Flo wrote it on her notepad and took the menus.
Our chef will prepare your meal.
Flo said as she bowed and walked into the kitchen.
It smells nice in here.
Hawkmoon said. Maisie nodded as Flo came back with the bread rolls.
This will keep you going until I get your food. Thank you.
Maisie said. Flo smiled. Flo went back into the kitchen and ran straight out with a scream, so loud it could be heard by a deaf person on the opposite side of the universe. Wow. Smoke erupted from the kitchen. Another Digimon emerged from the dark. Black smoke. This Digimon wore a chef's cap.
Help!
It said as it
Bald. I think it's bald.
towards Maisie.
A shadow Garurumon is attacking!
Maisie nodded and faced towards Hawkmon. Hawkmon nodded and Maisie nodded back.
Digimon energize!
Maisie yelled. A bright light shot out and hit Hawkmon, and a shadow shaped like a digi-egg of friendship surrounded her.
Hawkmon, I'm a Digivolve too!
She said as shadows of Babumon, Barumon, Werebarumon, and Metal Barumon joined the clump of shadows that hid Hawkmon. A bright blue light shot out from the center of the shadowed clump. The shape of Hawkmon grew taller and gloves appeared.
Rinkmon, the jet steam of friendship!
Another shape emerged. Is there a G? From the thick smoke. It was Shakespearemon.
Company?
It said in a gruff
David?
voice. It then said as it turned behind itself as a human shape also emerged from behind him.
Actually, that says behead him.
It does.
Shadow? It isn't here, is it?
The human said, whose name was David.
Apparently. What is?
Shadow Garumon said. Shadow said.
Any of the human spirits. My bee spirit. Or the digi-egg of...
David stepped up and then mumbled.
This crest had to be mine.
Shadow Garumon said, looked up.
The digi-egg and crest of friendship? Shadow, shut up!
David said angrily.
But David... Shut up! Never call me by a stupid human name ever again, you worthless clump of data!
Maisie gasped. David looked at her and then looked at Rinkmon.
I wonder what you are.
He said as he unclipped a black and dark blue detector from his belt. He pressed a few buttons and it became a black with dark blue buttons digivice. He prompted it at Rinkmon, and a beam of light shot forwards at Rinkmon.
Rinkmon!
Maisie said.
Relax, kid. It'll only tell me what she is.
David said.
Rinkmon, armor evolution from Hawkmon, digi-egg of...
David stopped and faced Maisie.
Friendship?
He then yelled.
Give it to me. No.
Maisie said.
Fine. Then I would fight, but... I'm doing the Eridan voice again. I haven't been able to use my crest yet. Because it's the crest of friendship. And, because it's the crest... I can't do any voices. Because it's the crest of friendship. And David is a cold-hearted something that I can't read. Bust? What?
He's a bus.
Cold-hearted... His? Kid? Kiss? It looks like Hiis.
Shadow begunned Bud, then was hit by David.
Shut up.
He said.
David, don't treat your Digimon so badly.
Maisie said.
Don't call me that. Call me Kaiser. I hate myself.
Die.
That's Japanese for... No, it's not. That's Japanese for emperor. I hate myself.
Oh my god, how long is this chapter? Maisie said.
Whatever.
David Kaiser said, as he lopped onto Shadow's back.
Goodbye.
He said, as Shadow ran away. Rinkmon de-digivolved Toy Hawkmon.
He's not spelled the right way, by the way. He's mean.
Hawkmon said.
But inside, he's nice. I'm purposely
Macca's
saying
said.
that wrong. Mac, how do you know? He was Grid, the crest, and Digi-Egg of friendship. He has it deep within his heart.
Maisie said.
What spirit was he talking about?
Hawkmon proudered for a few seconds.
I don't know much, but they can turn humans into Digimon. The elements are wind, water, fire, light, thunder, ice, steel, wood, dark, and earth. Do I have one?
Maisie asked.
Yes, you have two. A human spirit and a beast spirit.
Hawkmon continued.
They are made from the 10 legendary warriors.
Hawkmon said.
That's all I know.
Flo and the Digimon wearing a chief's cap approached Maisie. The Digimon was a Kushmon.
Gilmon. My name's Gilly. I'm a chef. I can't do Gilmon's voice.
No, do it.
I'm in a box. My name's Gilly. I'm a chef. Thanks for driving the Kaiser and Shadow away.
Gilly said.
You're a hero.
Flo said.
No. No. I can't do Gilmore's voice. I'm in a box. No, they're not heroes yet.
Gilly said as she took her hat off and took out a pair of goggles.
Now they're heroes. I can't do the voice.
Maisie took the goggles and put them on.
They look good with your hat.
Flo said.
I'm not very fond of pink, but it looks good. By the way, there's a drawing of Maisie with the goggles.
Long. Maisie said she looked outside.
Oh, it's snowing.
Gilly nodded, then ran into the kitchen, and when she returned, she was holding a people jacket. Flo looked at it.
My old jacket.
She said.
I knitted it a few years back, even though I don't think I have opposable thumbs. It's very well done, considering you don't have opposable thumbs.
Maisie said as she put on the jacket on. Flo smiled.
It looks good on you. Thanks. The Kaiser owns another Digimon which destroys our forest all the time.
Flo said, sadly.
We can help.
Maisie said. Flo smiled.
Thanks.
Gilly smiled then, sighed.
Rinkmon couldn't destroy it. We also have Halcyon. That wouldn't work either.
Flo said. Gilly opened up a book that lay on the floor, covered in dust.
This is the Book of Armor Digivolution.
This is just a restaurant, isn't it?
Yes.
Why do they have that?
I don't know.
Move on.
It's an ancient form of Digivolution using 11 different Digi-Eggs.
Gilly said.
Courage, friendship, knowledge, reliability, love, sincerity, hope, light, kindness, miracles, and destiny.
I was just counting them. Flo coughed.
You forgot darkness.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Gilly nodded.
Ah, yes. The forbidden Digivolution. It can turn any Digimon into any Digimon of the next stage. That's actually a card, by the way. To unlock its evolution, your heart must rid itself of pure darkness, but no one has proof of it. So it's a myth. I can't do that voice.
Flo smiled.
If I find it, I'll digivolve into a strong Digimon like Moosemon. Moosemon?
Maisie said.
The great protector of this forest.
Flo said with starry eyes.
Sadly, she was destroyed in order to protect this... That's Gilmon. Sadly... I can't do the voice. Can you do Gilmon?
No, you're doing it just fine.
Sadly, she was destroyed in order to protect this forest.
Gilly said. Flo frowned, fow a moment, then smiled.
Her spirit.
Gilly faced her.
That's a myth. A story we were told as babies.
Flo still smiled.
Her spirit remains in a digi-egg. I hope you are right.
Maisie said.
Only beliefs all set us free.
Flo said.
Belief. Belief and who?
Hawkmon nodded. Gilly looked up.
I hear Grand Kuwagamon's coming. Who?
Maisie said.
The one... who's saying that? The one who is terrorizing the forest.
Flo nodded.
It doesn't yell out its attacks. It combines them to destroy the forest. That makes no sense. It's called Fury.
That's not what that says. That says it's called Furry.
It's called Furry.
It went quet. Then the roof blew off.
Chapter 7 is called The Furry. I don't intend on living on this planet anymore. There were also 2 illustrations, one with the goggles and another one with me wearing the goggles and the pink jacket, and there's a caption that says pink and purple? Question mark?
Hold on.
Maisie.
You're wearing purple jacket over your pink shirt you were already wearing.
No, I was given that outfit by the Digimon.
And you said I look cool.
No, the narrator says Maisie wasn't one to wear pink, but she looked good, apparently. So, yeah, that was terrible.
I'm leaving now.
So, apparently the furry is coming. So, yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.